Should be rolling.
All right, guys, welcome to the Livewell here this Thursday night at Fish North Georgia. We're so glad you guys could join us. Got a great show for you. Got a packed house, and I'm telling you, when I say packed house, it's definitely a packed house. So if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button, click that notification bell. And if you're watching this at a later time, we love you too. Make sure you follow Fish North Georgia on all our social media. And for you guys on iTunes and Spotify, this episode will be out probably in a couple of days. So we appreciate you guys listening as well. So let's go ahead and take care of the business side of things. I got to do this first one right. All right, I got to do this first one. There's no pressure. All right. Our favorite sponsor tonight, Sonar Pros right here, 770-530-4505. By appointment only, guys. I say it every week. If you want your stuff installed, buy the best. You spend all that money on that sonar, give Trent a call right there. He does it for, hey, if the pros use them, you might as well use them. All right, so anything else you want me to say while we're right there?
No,
we'll give you with that perfect.
Yeah,
all right,
he's like in the house.
He's in the house, the best of the best right there. All right, and then, of course, if you want to, get a great guided trip for spotted bass on Lake Lanier, check out Kevin Underwood with Lipsticker Fishing. You see these pictures every single week on our Fish North Georgia group page. He's always got his clients on the big fish. So check him out at www.lipstickerfishing.com, or you can reach out to him on his Facebook page. And, of course, we got Evolve rod sleeves every week. The best one I've ever used. They float. They got the protective tip. They got the lanyard to hold it in place. And best of all, they float. We got them right here at Fish North Georgia, or you can check them out at www.evolvefishing.
I'm not even sponsored by them, and I will back that up because I just got some before our last event.
Is it not the best?
Literally the best rod sleeve ever. No hooks in it, sold on it, 100%.
The best.
Yeah, literally the best.
The best. Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Chad just got some.
I totally am sold on them. Saw the Facebook advertisement. Mike called me. He's like, I'm going to get us some. I was like, cool, let's try them.
They're
Come on,
great.
Mike.
I'm going to throw away all my other ones.
What does get us some mean?
Yeah, that's right.
You got to get times 5, man.
That's exactly right. All right, guys, if you're in the kayak.
I bought 60.
He bought 60. All right, he bought 60.
Goodness.
All right, guys, if you're in the kayak game, whether it be just paddleboarding, whitewater rafting, or fishing, check out our buddies at Festive Water Paddle Sports off 369 towards Lake Lanier. Check them out at www.festivewater.com. They will set you up for whatever application you want right there. And then, of course, our buddy Richard Key and the Money Saber Lure Retriever. Richard was on the show last Thursday. Absolutely fantastic guy. Great product. You spend a lot of money on all these baits. Get it hung, you might as well get it back. So check them out. We got them right here at Fish North Georgia, but they're in a lot of stores. And of course, if you're local, right behind us, Turner Tire, 706. You bought my phone number with that big O.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll move that trophy. I got you.
I got it. 706-253-3339. All right, you can slide it back right there. They brought their hardware in tonight. But guys, listen, if you're in the Jasper area and you need some tires, brakes, hey, rocking the guys up there will set you up just fine. And of course, we always got our Etowah mead, beer, and wine. You guys, if you're in Dahlonega, Georgia, you definitely got to go check them out. I'm telling you, mead can be shipped. So if you don't have a chance to make it up there, go on their website, check them out. It's very good. You like mead?
Yeah.
You like mead? Hey, listen, it's got some good stuff there. So, all right, well, we got a lot of comments already getting started. So let me go ahead and introduce our star-studded panel. And this is the first time we've done 5 people at a time. So I'm into the group thing if you guys are, so we can handle all this. Hey, it's whatever floats your boat.
You gotta prove it by my wife first.
Hey, listen, there you go. We can do that. So since the man does write me a check every once in a while, to my left I've got Trent Palmer, NPFL.
Yeah, NPFL Pro, owner of Sonar Pros. Love bass fishing.
Yeah, I'll let you guys introduce yourself. Y'all get better than I can. To my right, I got Justin Kimmel. Go ahead and just give it out there.
Yeah, I mean, fishing the MPFL with these guys this year. I'm an entrepreneur in the industry. This Clutch Swim Baits, lure designer. I got Lures and Lead. It's my title sponsor. Do a little work with them on online retail. And then let's not forget Fish Tips.
Fish Tips.
Yeah.
Okay, so you know Austin and the guys.
Oh, Austin's a crazy guy. I went fishing. Tried against him. You'll see it on the YouTube channel. He beat me like a drum today.
Okay, all right. So there, and now I don't know how he's got him. Let's go with Drew Cook down there at the bottom. Yeah, that's up. So Drew, just introduce yourself to everybody.
Drew Cook. This is actually the second time I've been on this podcast.
Is it?
Never been in the studio. Yeah, we fished that no live scope tournament.
Oh,
that's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
My
I was
bad.
like, wait a minute. He was
My
on your
bad.
podcast?
I was like, damn, he ain't never been in here before. But anyway, so and then we've got Mr. Patrick Walters. down
Yes,
there
sir.
in the lower left-hand corner. Of course,
An occasional bass fisherman.
an occasional bass fisherman. You guys are going to be great. Bassmaster Elite, both you two, Drew, and y'all fish the Elites and the
Yes,
NPFL.
sir.
And then down there in the right corner, on the water live right now, Mr.
Coming
Mike
to you
Corbishley.
live from the
How's the
Thursday
fishing
nighter.
going?
It's all right. We've got a few we got to get, or one we got to get rid of anyways. Let me get you a live update on the Livewell here. I'm gonna see if I can turn on.
Show
this
us
light.
one.
And he's also the recent Lake Hartwell
That's
NPFL champion.
That's right. I saw him lift that.
I don't know how you turn the camera around. Does anyone know how to do that?
Come on, Country Club.
Yeah,
Country
Yeah, that's working real good now.
He
huh?
just recently turned 30, so technology's tough for him.
So Clint Bartlett, Patrick Flex, and all that wood. That's because Trent come in with his, and then they got in their little measuring contest.
Hey, if Mike wasn't on the water, every podcast he's been on, he's out in the background. He's got some decent.
There we go. That looks good. All right. So
We got 4-pounders that we got.
what is Drew?
What
doing?
does Drew get?
I don't know.
It's on a cooler.
No, I can see his now. Yes, now we can see. He's got something.
What
What's
is that?
That is the 2017 Bass Nation Angler of the Year.
There you go. All right,
yeah.
So we got some talent here tonight, so to speak. So I want to start this off. All you guys, I know Trent, and I'm glad we get to meet the rest of you guys tonight. But I reached out to Trent because you guys all room together.
Yeah.
When you're on the road for the NPFL.
Yeah. So it kind of kicked off the first year I fished. Kimmel, Patrick, and I traveled together.
Right.
And then the following year, Kimmel left us for the Opens for whatever reason, and then it was Patrick, Corbishley, and myself. And then this year, we've kind of opened the house up. We brought Drew Cook in and brought
The
Kimmel
strays.
We brought the strays in.
So I was going to say, is there a vetting process at all when it comes to this?
No, but the rule is this: if
Should've
whoever's the highest finisher from the previous event gets the master bedroom at the next Airbnb we get.
Okay.
And Kimmel, it should be on his resume. This man has a talent for finding the most incredible Airbnbs we stay at. We're at these tournaments. The last one we were at Heartwell was a quail hunting lodge.
Oh, really?
It had like 15 beds. It was this giant place with a private pond. I mean, it was fantastic.
Dude, last time I went with somebody, I got stuck in some damn shady motel in Rome, Georgia that smelled like a murder scene.
Yeah.
So there you go. So, that's pretty cool. Now, I want to know, all right, so we're going to deal with that just a little bit. You guys rooming together. Justin, and then we'll get to the guys on the screen. What's that like? You can say whether it's camaraderie or even the competition within the group itself.
I mean, it definitely drives up the level of competition. I think we all really root for each other. We're helping each other, obviously, but we want to beat each other.
Yeah.
And I'm one who is routinely last place in the house, so I really want to beat these guys.
Oh, I got you.
But they're all amazing. I mean, I'll rewind it back too. I would like to take credit for Patrick Walters and Trent Palmer to even being on the NPFL. I feel like I talked them both into it. So,
is that it? Is
I'm
that
pretty
true, Patrick?
convincing guy.
I would actually have to say it's more convincing of my wife. I wasn't going to fish last year. My wife's
Right.
like, you should fish. I was like, nah, we got a bunch going on. I'm just going to take that year off. And she's like, no, you should fish. I was like, when your wife asks you to fish more, you should probably fish more.
When you
That's-
make $500,000 fishing it, your
already.
wife's probably going to ask you.
That's also ding. Ding.
Yeah.
So you've done very well. Drew, I want to ask one of you guys. Let's just say you and Patrick are going into the final day, 1 and 2, and there's one pound separating you guys. Are we sharing information, or are we not talking to each other? What's it actually like inside one of these groups?
We're sharing it. I mean, I would still tell him exactly what I'm doing. I feel like he would tell me what he was doing. At that point, though, you're rooting for each other, but it's all fair game. Whoever's going to catch them is going to catch them.
What a politician.
It really is like
What a politician.
whoever's going to have that great day will catch them. But it's like there's nothing to hide because that's how fishing is. Everybody's going to find something different. So it's like we all kind of share something and everybody kind of goes their separate ways.
All right,
it just
guys.
depends on the time of
That's
year.
how it was at
which-
Heartwell. I mean, Trent was we were fishing a few of the same places and didn't realize it. they might have been Trent's spots. I don't know. I found them though, and but I was that last day. Trent had pulled up. If you go back and watch the live coverage, he was 100 yards across from me. I'm waving my hands like, "Hey, like I just caught a 5-pounder there, a 4.5 pounder." Like, and he told me the night before, like, "Hey, if I get in your rotation," because he knew I had a good shot to win. He's like, "If I get in your rotation, I'll roll somewhere else." And he picked up and he left and went to another creek. So
that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool.
It's an interesting dynamic. I mean, all of us want to see each other succeed.
Right.
I mean, and the big thing for us is we want the house to win, whether that someone wins or all of us get paid. And a big part of that is, throughout practice, we're calling each other saying, "Hey, I just caught a fish doing this, throwing this bait, this depth, this area." And I mean, the last tournament was good proof in the pudding that solution or that formula works. I mean, we all, I think all of us top 15 that last tournament.
Yeah.
And hopefully we carry it for the rest of the year, because the first tournament was a little surprising because all of us did absolutely terrible the first 2 days. Yeah.
Except me. Except me. He got the hand up. Who is the biggest sandbagger though? None of you guys sandbag at all.
Patrick
is a sandbagger.
Patrick for sure.
I don't sandbag that bad.
He has
a reputation not only on the NPFL but on the Elite Series. If he puts 12 pounds in his weight tracker, it's 20.
Yeah,
Okay.
Mike, I ran into Patrick.
Same people that eat the cushions out of their couch is just so addicted to sandbag.
Yeah, 100%. Patrick should be on my strange addiction, which is lying on his weight tracker.
Okay,
100%.
I believe that.
Well, it's not just a weight tracker. I run into Patrick day 3, and I'm sitting in the 12-pound neighborhood. And I said, Patrick, what do you got? He goes, 12 pounds. I'm like, that's what I got. So there's no way Patrick's got 12 pounds. So I'm sitting there thinking, man, I got to catch up a little bit.
I mean, at Saginaw Bay when I won last year, I mean, Patrick's the one who brought me in.
Right.
He was leading the tournament, and then it shook out the way it shook out. But the last day of the tournament, I knew if I ran into him, I was going to lie to his face about my weight to get him back, because the day before, he and I pulled up to each other, and I was like, "What you got?" And he's like, "Oh, I got like 17." And I was like, "Okay, well, I got like 21." And he's like, "Okay." In reality, he had 22 that day. So day 3, we run into each other.
Okay.
We run into each other, and I'm like, I'm gonna lie to him, and this is gonna feel great. And we run into each other. He's like, "What do you got?" I'm like, like 17 or so.
Yeah.
And he is like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, I got like the same as yesterday." And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, crap, that means he's got like 22.
Right.
And I think he on the other end was like, crap, Trent's got a decent bag too.
No,
so.
I thought you were being serious. You said you had 18, and I was.
Oh, that's right.
What you really got? I said that, and you were like, "I got 18."
In reality, I
was like, no.
I knew I had 23.
I
asked you 3 times.
I know there's sandbagging's got to be going on. Now, you guys all know Big Al. And so
the boom.
Occasionally Big Al graces us on this show with his
Just commented.
Olivia Newton-John. That's his hot woman of the 80s.
Okay.
All right. So this selection is Olivia Newton-John. Big Al, she's a little skinny for my taste. She looked good in grease. Any of you guys got any comments on Olivia Newton-John back in the day, or you guys are all younger?
Was she the brunette
that is
blonde?
Right. The blonde that was dating
my time.
You guys are young, man. You ain't
was
old
she
like
the one
that
that John Travolta liked in that movie?
Yeah.
She was good looking.
Yeah,
she was skinny though.
she was
She was
skinny.
like, yeah.
She needed
Yeah,
a
I
little
know
more
who
up
she is.
top, but that's all right.
Have
So
you seen
good
her now,
selection
though?
there. What'd you say?
The only
Patrick?
people I
have you seen
know
her
in
now,
that age
though?
class is like Rick Klein.
Okay, yeah.
God, that's wrong.
That's going way back. That's over there in
That
Father
doesn't
Time
mean she's
Kevin's-
not attractive.
Kevin's
I have
son.
no idea who she is, though.
Well, she's hot. She's dead, but she's hot.
There's always Google.
Yes, Google.
Yeah.
That's right. So, So
We're all
let's
married, by the way. I should throw that in there.
I get in trouble
No,
every Thursday
not all
night.
of us.
So trust me.
Not everybody.
Trust me. It's okay. We won't get you too much off. So going into Heartwell though, because I watched Patrick win on Murray.
Yeah.
I watched you so much I probably could draw your ass, from watching you on TV that much.
Have you
But I
lost
think
it?
at Drew's eyes like that. Just seeing the coverage and all that. And I really honestly thought with all the top water going on Murray and it was crazy, the weights and all that I thought maybe Heartwell would replicate itself. Something similar. They're not that far apart. Did you guys, and any of you guys can answer, just jump in whatever you want. Did you guys kind of expect that too? Huh?
We thought Patrick was going to win.
Yeah.
Is that right? Is that right?
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Well, did you expect it to be something similar, or did you expect it to be? It was tough for you guys.
I didn't too much just because I knew, Neil Paul and the crew over there run an awesome setup, getting as many tournaments as you can in their county, which generates awesome revenue for the county and whatnot. But there was a lot of tournaments leading up to ours. So the lake had gotten a lot of pressure, fresh post spawn fish. There was a herring spawn dwindling. I mean, the herring spawn was starting to diminish on Lanier, which normally Lanier's a couple weeks behind Heartwell. So when I was fishing Lanier before the Heartwell tournament, we were off limits, and I saw that the Lanier herring spawn was dwindling. I knew we were probably going to hit Heartwell at a pretty tough time. Now, it's still an amazing fishery, but
2 weeks too late.
Yeah, we definitely.
Did you say 2 weeks?
Yeah.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
I don't think any of us had the expectation that it was going to be like Murray.
I agree.
Okay. So, Drew, what was your plan going into that tournament?
One thing.
Yeah, I was going to find the last couple on the bed.
Right. Because you got everybody. So when I said Drew's coming on, everybody's like, this is just what I've been. The best sight fisherman out there.
Bar none.
The best sight fisherman out there.
If they're on the nest, that man is going to find them.
If they're not on the nest, he still finds them.
Yeah, I got
it. Great bed fisherman. It's like nobody's bed fishing.
It's September and Drew's finding bedfish.
Yeah.
So did you find any of that at all?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
You
did.
That's how we caught them.
That's how you caught your fish?
I mean, I had a saddle that I caught 10 to 12 pounds off of every morning, but the whole rest of the day, like the first 2 days, I spent 6 hours a day up shallow just looking.
Right.
And never really ran across them because I got sucked into a area that really wasn't good. And then the third day, I finally just bailed on it and went, and not an area, a section. And I went to a different section, and they were actually kind of laying everywhere.
Wow.
Should have had a really big bag the third day, but I just didn't have enough time. But still caught a good bag.
He didn't have enough time because he pulled up on me.
Oh,
On the
okay.
way through this area.
Bullshit.
We sat there and talked for I think 15 minutes, and I was like, "Dude, they're loaded right here." I was like, "I can't catch them," and he's like, "What you got?" And I was like, "I think I got 12 pounds." He's like, "What you really got?" I was like, "Well, if you sit here long enough, I'll pull them out, weigh them." We sat there boat to boat, like basically tied up, and I pulled the fish out and weighed every single one of them. And I was like, "Yep, I got 12.4." He's like, "Yeah, I got about the same thing." And then we talked for a little bit, and I was like, "Well, see if you can catch these fish." And then we piddled around for about 10 more minutes, and then we finally just went our separate ways.
Yep. I was like, well, we already made 10 grand. Let's just
We were good at that point.
Okay. All right. What about you, Justin? What was your game plan going in?
I mean, my game plan was very similar with Trent and Mike, was to find a way to catch them in the morning and then kind of rotate the offshore game and try to find isolated things to throw out and stuff. And I believe it got won that way.
Yeah.
It just didn't. I did not. I don't know if I didn't slow down. I honestly felt like I got a really bad boat number for what I wanted to do in the morning. Trent and I actually wanted to probably start on the same spot for the opening tournament. We both didn't get it. We were bad boat numbers. And I caught most of my fish
out
right
for
there
you,
at the
though.
ramp.
I was about to
It
say,
worked
that
out.
boat number worked out.
Literally at the ramp.
Yeah, Patrick wants to know, how did that boat number work out?
It was great. I was fighting myself. We were sitting there, and I was sitting there talking to Jake Maddox, and a 4-pound spot comes up between our two boats, busting herring. And I'm like, all right, what's the off limits again? I'm looking, checking my phone and doing all this stuff. I was like, I'm going to catch them right here. And we go out. There's about 9 boats behind me. And I still put it south, and I had a gut feeling. I was like, no, don't do it. You're not going to get that spot. Turned a big U-turn, probably waked guys out there still blasting off, and set right back down. I had a 3-pounder in the boat before they were done blasting off, like
Trent,
right off the bat.
Can you see Kimmel full trim? That donut. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, what is that guy doing?" Everybody's like,
So for those who've never seen Kimmel drive,
Hey, lifelong co-angler here.
Okay.
Kimmel's motor is trimmed up as high as it can go, shooting the largest rooster tail known to man. That is his identifier across the lake. There goes
Kimmel.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, there's Kimmel.
Is that true?
I guess.
Huh?
I mean, I was a co-angler, 2 years ago?
I mean,
I was a
Kimmel-
lifelong
To
co-angler.
give Kimmel credit, what'd you win? Almost 300 grand as a co-angler?
quarter mil from
Yeah.
the back of the boat. Yeah.
Quarter mil from the back of the boat. I like how
Great.
that sounds. It's real
Yeah.
nice and easy. Quarter mil from the back of the boat.
Yeah.
All right. So Corbishley, you ended up winning this event on Heartwell.
I did.
All right. So
It was not bad.
yeah. So tell us the juice. What'd you do?
Juice. I'd like to think I'm like a father figure to Trent, and I've taught him a lot about what he knows about herring fishing. So, I was trying to help him through this one too, and
limp them along.
I tried to limp him along a little bit, and I found the right fish. I tried to put him on him, but he just couldn't catch them. So, but no.
Well, we
I'm
appreciate
kidding.
your efforts on behalf of Trent.
In all seriousness, between him and Pat, probably learned more about, and Perry Graves. I don't know if anyone knows Perry Graves from Chattooga area, but I've probably learned more about herring fishing from some of those guys than anybody else. And honestly, it fits my style pretty well because I can't sit still for more than like 10 minutes at a time, and that's just, I feel like, how you have to fish. And I wasn't really catching them. I had a really tough practice, and when I struggle like that, what I like to do, I work for Lowrance full time. That's my full time job. I'm very good with electronics, very familiar with them. And when I try to, when I'm having a tough practice, I just tend to use my electronics and, graph as much, mark as much good looking stuff as I can and run it all in a day. And that's really how it ended up going. Was just running all that stuff, and I had a rotation of baits, and just had to figure out what they wanted each day. But golly, man, I was tired from standing up and sitting down. Let's put it that way. But it worked out pretty dang well.
Yeah. So, guys, again, if you're in the comment section, if you got any questions for these guys, make sure you put it. There's several going up a little bit. I mean, down.
That one right there.
Is there a question?
Yeah, what about that?
Yeah, I saw that one.
Okay, so Fred Ashcraft's got a question. Will Trent rig smaller aluminum boats 15 to 16 foot?
Oh yeah, we'll rig anything that'll float. I mean, at the shop right now, we actually got, I think it's a 14-foot Gnu that we're putting a live scope system on. It's kind of a cool little boat, actually. But yeah, it does not matter the size of the boat. It can be a pontoon boat, center console, bass boat, John boat. We rig them all.
There you go. So there's your answer to that. I saw somebody had mentioned about Mike going down, Chuck Khalil. Mike, you fishing the Thursday nighter. Where are you fishing tonight, Mike?
Yeah, I am fishing. I'm currently fishing a Thursday nighter at Falls, Falls Lake in Raleigh, North Carolina. That's my home lake. It's like 15 minutes from the house. So my partner Bryson Pede's up there on the deck right now, slinging a frog around. Oh my God! We're hooking up live. Hold on.
We've got the action right here.
Oh my God!
Oh my gosh!
Hooked up live.
Cash money. That's a dub. Thursday night dub.
That's awesome. I ought to get a sponsor out of that somehow. Somebody. Look at there.
Wow, that's in the box.
That was good timing.
Good job. I like it.
That was great timing.
It was perfect, man. Perfect.
Y'all just won.
Yeah. Is that the winning fish?
We got 2 4-pounders, and that's probably like 2.5.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. We probably get paid, but we got to
get paid.
Podcasting.
That's right, man. All right, so Drew, I got a question for you from TKR. Ask Drew what he thinks about the fault. That's Big Al. Short fish penalty. Okay, Big Al said short fish penalty. TKR says, ask Drew what he thinks about the fall spawn that was brought up in one of the previous shows. Did we talk about that? Must have been when he was on. He should know if anyone does. So is there a fall spawn?
Yeah, especially down here. I doubt. I don't know personally up there. But I'm.
Well, where are you at? Where are you at again?
South Georgia, Lake Seminole.
Is it Cairo or Cairo?
Cairo.
Cairo. I told y'all it was Cairo.
I don't even say it right. Yeah.
We had that argument beforehand. All right, so go ahead. I'm sorry.
With a K though, isn't it? It's like
the syrup's with a K.
Okay, then it's with a C.
Yeah, his is with a C.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us about the fall spawn down there where you're at.
It's a very select few fish. Because I personally think fish spawn 3 times a year.
Really?
In the spring.
Right.
I have personally caught the same female off the same bed over a 2.5 month span.
That's a Florida strain thing, right, Drew?
Well, I mean, it was on a lake that doesn't technically have Florida strain bass, but it's
Interesting.
got their own genetics. But yes, I have seen that with my own two eyes. The 100% same fish, same mark, same everything.
Wow.
And on the same bed. But we had an open down here in the fall, like 2014, 2015. And it was super tough. And I started that tournament on a fall bedding fish, a 3 3/4 male
Hammer.
that I caught off the bed.
Hammer. All right, so that's something that up here we don't talk about hardly ever at all. In fact, this will be the first time ever on this show we've talked about a fall spawn. So on Lanier and places like that, we generally don't get nothing like that.
No,
that I'm aware of.
the only thing I've ever seen is like a real late, I guess you could borderline call it, if it's a hot fall brim spawn that'll hold out till then.
Yeah.
But I've never seen a bass on bed till then.
Yeah, that's interesting. So appreciate the question there, TKR, for that. What's all you guys? Let's start with Patrick. What's your home lake? What you would consider your Sandy Cooper?
Yep.
All right, Corbishley. Mike, what's yours?
Home lake, that would be Falls Lake in North Carolina. That is where
Falls
I am
Lake,
right
North
now.
Carolina. All right,
Yes,
and
sir.
Drew, yours would
Falls
be
of Jordan.
Seminole.
Seminole and Talcott. I grew up on Talcott, but I live Seminole.
Other than that, all right, Justin, what about yours?
Oconee and Heartwell. Grew up on Oconee. Try to fish just herring stuff these days.
Okay, and then you would consider Lanier.
Lanier, yeah.
All right, so of all the lakes you go to in the South, what's your guys' favorite lake to fish?
It was Lanier 2 weeks ago.
In the South, well, the home lake's the easy crutch to fall on. So
Yes, without your home lake. Not your home lake.
yeah,
Patrick's
well,
home lake.
I'll say this I have a lot of really good memories on Lake Pickwick. I used to fish it a ton. I haven't.
Have you been there in 5 years?
I haven't been there in like 5
Home away
years.
from home lake for Trent.
Yeah, but that lake, even though it's kind of it gets beat up pretty bad now as far as fishing pressure, and it's tough. I'd say Pickwick's probably still one of my favorites all time.
St. John's River for me.
St. John's for you.
Love it.
All right, Patrick.
That's a tough. I would say probably like Lake Fork, somewhere like that. Just
Lake
every
Fork.
time you set the hook, it's like a 7-pounder. In the southeast, though, I'd say Lake Murray.
Lake Murray. I was going to come to Lake Murray with you.
Every time Patrick sets the hook.
Yeah.
It's a 7.
All right, Drew. What about you?
Santee Cooper. Patrick's
Santee
home lake.
Cooper.
Yeah.
You like that? All right, Mike.
He
if you
takes
could
my
hear
money
us-
every time.
Yeah.
Hey, mute yourself, please.
No, not bad.
Mike
no,
says Hartwell.
Yeah, well, as of now, Heartwell, yeah, that's one of my first major.
No doubt.
But
No
no,
doubt.
I really do like that lake though. That and Lanier, I really do like. But
I do like Lanier.
But man, yeah, they're awesome lakes. I don't know. You know, I think the coolest lake that we've been to, like NPFL wise, I would say Wright Patman. It was just bushes on bushes on bushes.
Is that the one in Texas?
Yeah,
so
we hit it at a
cool.
bad
Yeah.
time. That place is
Oh, is it?
wild.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
Arkansas or Texas?
bushes
Yeah.
everywhere.
Is that was that from like 2 years ago or was that last year?
Last year.
Last
And,
year.
and the
They went
the first year.
3.
They went the first
They
year
won the
when
first
we
year,
weren't
and went
there.
last year too.
Because I remember watching Jesse Millsap throwing swim
Yeah,
jigs and
in
stuff
the, like-
into the bushes.
Like
and
in
stuff.
people's like yard bushes.
Yeah, it was like
It's
raised
crazy.
up. It was
Yeah.
high. Okay.
It was
All right.
awesome.
So, Patrick, I want to ask you a question about Lake Murray. Because, of course, we're right here on Lake Lanier. The thing that I took from it was the way the fish would come and hit the top, but it was all largemouth where we got spots here.
Yep.
Kind of describe the difference in a lake like Murray with herring in it that's largemouth dominated compared to, say, Lake Lanier that's spotted bass dominant.
I think the biggest difference is like the largemouth will set up. They'll stay set up, and they typically eat. Where spots, they just kind of mess everything up half the time. They kind of move everything. They're so aggressive. It's like they're not always shallow. They go out deep. They're on the cane. They're just out in the abyss. It's like the herring are almost kind of hard to dial. With the spots, they're almost harder to dial in because they just don't stop moving.
That's right.
I think the largemouth almost make it better or easier because they're lazier. They wait on the bait to come to them where the spots go chase the bait. That's the biggest difference.
Okay. You know, you're on Lanier. You agree with that?
100%. I mean, spotted bass are very nomadic. They do not care about what is below them or above them. They're going to go wherever they want as long as there's bait fish.
Yep.
day 2 and day 3 of Heartwell, I had a spot where largemouth were pushing herring up, and they were very predictable. They would get on the same spot, and they wait for the bait to come to them. They ambush them, and they move right back to the same spot. Mm-hmm. Herring, they're going to push that bait up, or not herring, sorry. Spots are going to push that bait up, feed, and then keep pushing them out and follow them out.
And just never.
That's when you have the whole problem of like you're chasing schooling fish, and you're like, oh, there they are. I'm going to head to them. And you get there, and now they're 600 yards to the left because they're just going to keep pushing that bait to feed on it. Versus largemouth are going to stage, and they're very predictable. They'll sit in the same spot and wait for them to come back.
So they'll hit, go back down, wait for it to come back, hit, and go back down. Okay, so I got a question for you guys. What is your favorite herring fishery, and what is your favorite way to catch herring fish? And I'm going to start with Drew, since you're the South guy, you're the Flatlander in this group. You know, herring a little bit different than where you're from, so I'll let you start. What's your favorite herring lake, and what's your favorite way to catch herring fish?
I guess actually the only time I've ever fished for herring eating fish was the NPFL at Heartwell.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've always just ran away from it.
He's not lying. He does avoid it.
That's a.
I get it. That's why I wanted to start with you. All right. So, Mike, what about you? Favorite herring lake and favorite way to fish for herring eating bass?
It has to be Heartwell because it's just 100,000 there. Outside of
He's got 100,000 reasons to say that.
Yeah,
100,000 reasons why Heartwell is the best herring
Neil
lake.
Paul paid him to say that.
Shout out Neil Paul. Yeah.
right.
I mean, my favorite way to catch them is on a walking bait.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like on top, slinging a walking bait. That 13 power slide's pretty legit. You know,
What
big
bait is
walking
that,
bait.
Michael?
It's pretty fun.
Michael,
Sponsor
what
plug.
bait even is that? I don't even know what bait that is, guys. Does
It's a
anybody know that
13
bait?
fish.
Okay.
No.
Yes.
Per usual, Mike's
He's
holding out
dropping
on us.
new juice on us, and we're like, Mike.
It's a
Go ahead,
big
dog.
walking bait. It's just
Okay.
like it's kind of like your shower
Who makes it?
blows esque, but it's a 13 fishing.
Which
Okay.
he's
But
But
sponsored
it's a
by.
little bit.
Oh, okay.
I am,
Yeah.
but I mean, it's a good bait.
Makes sense.
I believe you. I believe
It
you.
is a good
Weren't
bait.
we just talking
Well, I
about
mean, I
sandbagging?
got no reason
Yeah,
to
this is
lie
a perfect
out here.
example.
Is
of
this
what
the
we deal with
sandbagging going
daily.
on right here?
Yeah.
I'll be honest.
Okay.
I only got to weigh like 2 fish on it, or 1 fish on it in our tournament, but it's a pretty good bait.
Okay.
So, I
All right, what about you?
I like big top. They blow up on top, like, and they hit it like with a purpose. That's the deal.
Yes.
Fun.
It's hard to beat a good topwater bait.
It is. It is. What about you, Patrick?
I would have to say my favorite herring lake is any lake with herring in it. I don't care if it's in the southeast and it's got herring in it. I'm
What a
about it.
political
Good answer.
I mean,
Patrick.
But it's a good
Lanier,
answer.
It's a good answer.
Hartwell, Murray, it doesn't
Russell.
matter. All of them.
I'll
I have
kick your
never
ass
been to Russell.
anywhere.
He probably would on the back in a Zoom super fluke. Zoom
I
super
love
fluke all day, daylight till dark.
Fluke. Okay. All right. Justin, what about
If
you?
it ain't chrome, go home.
I mean,
That's right.
I'm like Corbishley. I got to say Heartwell and a shout out to Neil Paul. I think my life has changed because of Heartwell. I won 2 boats there and won the All-American there. But what I really love is probably about I've been checking them all off, but the 14 to 15 mountain lakes in East Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, North Georgia.
Get on those.
Like, oh my gosh. And it's because there's just not as pressured, and they eat a darter, and that's my favorite way to catch them,
A darter.
obviously. The
Darter,
clutch
yeah.
darter. I mean, I just love that bait, and I love seeing them come play with it. And those lakes, they tee off on it, so it's fun.
All
I
right.
think if I could change,
I'm in the
favorite
easy
lake,
ones.
it'd be Chattoog. Now that you mentioned that,
Chattoog's a good one.
The Duke's cool.
That's an awesome lake.
Chattoog is a good one.
Mine would have to be. There's some baits I just won't disclose. But
Yeah,
as far
for
as
sure.
public ones,
Public ones.
No, even to us.
yeah,
Oh, really?
For real.
yeah. Lanier, obviously, because it's the lake I've fished for the past 10 years. As far as favorite baits, it's got to be a fluke and a darter as well.
Okay. All right. That'll work. So we're going to go in reverse this time. Will Leonard wants to know, what's your most underrated bait this time of year? Yeah. What are you laughing at? Hold on. What the hell are you laughing at?
Patrick's reaction to my second bait.
I was
The darter?
laughing at Patrick's laugh.
Okay. So why is Patrick laughing?
Because
it's a hard to explain story. It's a fantastic bait that Kimmel designed. As far as glide baits imitating herring, it's the best one there is.
Oh, you designed.
Yeah, we like to give each other a hard time.
Patrick's done one more money on it than I have though.
Oh,
yeah,
but that's all right.
That's perfect. We have to give each other. There's backstories to everything, which we can't publicly all disclose all of them, but we all have to give each other crap. Like I was giving Mike crap for sponsor plug. Kimmel's sponsor plug is the darter. It is a bait he designed, but
okay,
it's good stuff.
But I'm shameless. Like today, they weren't on it as good today, and I just got my tail kicked by Topwater because I just
our joke with Kimmel on the darter is it could be December and he'll tell us to catch him on the darter.
Yeah,
I caught one on Logan Martin.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, all right.
I weighed one in on Logan Martin. I only weighed like 6 fish that time.
I'm going to get asked 100 times tomorrow. My phone's going to blow up. Where can someone get your darter?
Oh, you can go to luresandlead.com. You can go to tacklewarehouse.com. There's probably 7 or 8 other retailers right now carrying it. And then,
hey, but
I think Hammond,
seriously,
if you're around the Lake Lanier area, Hammond
Kimmel, here's your darter.
There's one right there.
There you go.
There's one.
And are the new ones, Kimmel? Are
new and pack?
Are the new ones we got to see at
Hold on, I got one right here.
So Corbishley's got one too.
No.
Oh, he's got another fish, or he's got a darter.
No.
Oh, I got a darter. And hold on.
Oh yeah, the painted ones. The one that Mike's got. That's a Rob Jordan painted one. That might be the only time we ever do. We're doing a drop on Lures and Lead tomorrow at noon.
And those are custom painted.
And there's only after my roommates got a hold of them, there's only 20 something left, so they should go pretty fast.
Okay.
But I don't know if we'll ever get Rob to paint anymore. But it's
we need to give a quick shout out to Jeff Hodges too. This is Jeff Hodges.
Yeah, Jeff's glide's good too.
Look at that.
Herring Hustler right there, the Hodges Hustler.
I got a different color one. This was supposed to be Patrick's. I forgot to give it to him.
He did not forget.
Just forgot. Yeah, just forgot conveniently.
I haven't trimmed the tail on this one yet, but this is a little bit different color, but same story. Like,
those are awesome looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I haven't trimmed the tail on that one, but either way, they're legit.
Good stuff right there. Most underrated. Going to start with you, Trent. Most underrated bait this time of year, in your opinion?
Oh man,
underrated.
Are we in the topic of herring still, or
whatever in general? For whatever you got, whatever you guys' opinions on it's what's
big worm. Big worm.
Patrick says a big worm.
Buzzbait.
Buzzbait. All right. Even on the herring lakes.
Yeah,
that's right. I knew. I've had several tell us that, so I believe that. So Patrick's big worm, Trent's buzzbait. Any of you other guys right now? Most underrated bait.
Floating worm.
What do you say?
Floating worm.
Floating worm.
I took him out of my boat. Don't tell me that. Do not make me go back out there and repack my
now,
boat.
when you say floating worm, are you talking about the standard in the spring methylate bubble gum? Or you talking about
methylate, yellow and white?
Now, is that because you're from down south? I mean, does that play a little longer?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it does, but I mean, whenever you're at Lake Norman in July, I mean, they ain't seen it in a long time. They eat it like they ain't never seen it before. They're still underneath the docks.
That's right.
Yeah,
that makes sense. But I think around here, guys that come in the shop, generally those two baits, those two colors like methylate and bubble gum, and what they get talked about March and April around here, and then it seems to die off. Nobody really talks about it.
It's a good point Cook brought up.
Yeah,
and the fact that it's something they hadn't, like, not even specifically a floating worm, but baits that we might all think are just traditional for the springtime or the wintertime.
Yeah,
they can make a resurgence back because it's bait they haven't been hitting the head with.
Makes sense.
Or a rattle trap.
I mean, or a rattle trap.
Not in the springtime on a rattle trap. A lot.
Okay, I believe that. What about you, Mike?
I'm going to go with a jig, and that's like not one specific jig, but all around. I mean, I've got some form of jig on the deck all the time. You know what I mean?
What kind of jig, Mike?
Well, me and Drew are using the same jigs. That's why he says that. But we're both 30 jigs guys and nickels guys, depending on the
I was
season.
just
Same as
teeing
Trent.
it up
We're
for you.
yeah,
You're
you
supposed to
were
knock it out of the
all
park.
three of us. Me, Trent,
just
and Drew
bunt it.
are all dirty jigs nickels guys. So
Okay.
I mean, if it's a I like I don't know the Scott Canterbury jigs, like the finesse jigs, they're solid. Anything, man. Like if it's this time of year, I'm throwing some form of a football jig, and then flipping jig outside of that. But
Okay.
yeah,
All
if it's got dirty jigs in front of it, then it's probably on my deck at some point.
Okay. Fair enough. That's a good one. All right. Now, you haven't answered yet.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking post spawn, and I got to put emphasis on what Mike said. I think a lot of guys throw jigs in the wintertime and pre spawn and forget about them once the spawn's over. And I love a jig. I mean, it's the only top 10 I made in May last year. Post spawn was on a jig.
Was on a jig.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So the next question is for you, Justin. If you're fishing Oconee this time of year, you fishing primarily shallow or deep for bigger bass? And he also misses the YouTube content from your channel. That's Brandon
appreciate
Cochran.
it. Like dirt shallow.
Dirt shallow.
Like way up in the creeks. Way as far as you can go.
All right. What are you going after him with? Drop some juice, help the guy out.
Peanut butter jelly.
Peanut butter jelly.
I mean, it's no secret on Oconee. I mean, they're gonna eat some form of top water, but I have been known to catch them on a spook this time of year and never really talk about it. But
Okay.
that's a good one.
Good enough.
Especially when it gets into June. We never have tournaments in June at Oconee. Yeah. We never did. And Matt, my team partner, Matt Henry, we always wanted them in June because we catch them on top water in June and July, running shade, way backs of creek, stuff we don't get to do during our team season. It just never pans out that we get to fish that way.
Okay. All right. So Will Harkins, let's see. Was that the next question? Was that from Will? Or I saw somebody said, Wesley McGuffin says, "What's up, Drew?" So I guess Wesley McGuffin. Yeah, right there. So
what's
hunter
happening,
fishing.
Wesley?
Yeah. Will Harkins wants to know what's the differences that make a pro versus a Joe coming from a Joe. Will was on my show last week.
He is a pro. Will is good.
I think here's the biggest differentiator. If you claim a net profit at the end of the year on your taxes, then you're a pro.
I could see that.
Okay,
what
that's
if you got a really good tax guy, Trent?
Tax
guy. That's what I do.
Yeah,
that's what I do. TurboTax makes me look great, guys. So, and Will got engaged.
Will, though. Will is as real as it gets. Will is
a hammer
in every tournament.
The kid is going to have a long future in fishing.
He had to throw him back for an unfortunate what he called an OSHA incident.
Yeah,
but he had to throw him back, and the guy still caught him. What still finished top 5 or something like that?
What did Will finish there?
Yeah,
was it 4th,
third or fourth?
Yeah. And you know what? He's just a nice person.
Third or fourth. Oh, Will's great.
He's just
he's
super
a nice guy.
Great kid.
Recently engaged.
That's right. You know what pisses me off?
He joins the club.
Let me tell you what makes me mad is he was on the show last week. He could, and she was here.
Could have done
we could have done that right here on the podcast.
Yeah.
Instead, he waits to
said no.
They decided to go sit in a field somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere
in a field, get all dressed up with a photographer when he could have done it right here, man.
So, Will, if you're watching, you did the right thing.
He did.
Yeah,
he did.
100%.
All right, so
I think he's watching. He's talking trash to Corbishley.
I think as a fisherman, the number one mistake you could make is proposing to your woman in a boat or fishing related environment.
Bringing them both together.
Yeah, not good.
You know what? I mean, but we are a community here. We're building up that community, and people love Will.
My fiance told me, she was like, "I swear, you bet as long as you don't propose to me in a boat, I'll say yes." And made sure that didn't happen.
Well, that's
that would have been the one reason I proposed in a boat.
Is that why you proposed to the boat?
Cook would do that. Probably
like Cook or Corbishley could have told
the ring was probably in a bed and he flipped into it.
I think to do the opposite when they say that.
I think it's great. But anyway, Will, congratulations. Seriously. You got a great woman right there. There was a question going up. We got to scroll up a little bit.
I saw it. It was
about Heartwell.
Yep, hunter
fishing on Heartwell. If you get around a lot of rat spots, And I don't know what in the hell a rat spot is.
Small, short.
Small, short. Okay, all right. Are you moving completely different sections of the lake or just trying a different creek?
I'm trying a different bait.
Trying a different bait. Throw the darter.
I think
I'm throwing a
the biggest,
darter. No.
yeah. I think the biggest advice I could give to anyone herring fishing, and by no means am I an expert, but I've fished them for a good while now.
You know what you're talking about.
If you're not burning a lot of gas, you're doing it wrong.
Yeah.
So if you're catching rats, it's time to move. And like 2-3 cast a spot, go.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much from post spawn till December.
Yeah.
It makes me feel good. I finally filled up my tank since Heartwell today.
Yeah.
48 gallons.
Yeah. At Heartwell, I was burning
48
about 40, 45 gallons a day.
So are you guys, what'd you say, Patrick?
I was burning 17. I mean, I feel like you do have to burn, but you got to get your path down right. They would go top, bottom, somewhere in the middle. I would just do like a circle, and it would just all work out.
Well, so my first day I burned 20. My second day I burned 20, and the last day I burned 40. So that tells you, right?
Okay.
I mean, it's like
You had to go back to the boat landing though, didn't you?
Well, you got
dropped the guy
So
off.
it's like first and second day I was just like fishing, and then the third day I was just running the best places that I had. You know what I mean? So that might have meant rather than running 200 yards between a spot, you're running, 10 miles.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I know on Lanier, all the guys that come from Lanier, Emil, and all those guys, it is either drop it, look it, don't look good, go to the next spot, couple casts, go to the next spot. So there's a ton of running and gunning.
Yeah, if you start getting familiar with forward sonar and how fish position, there's times you can put the trolling motor in the water and I can tell immediately those fish have been fished. And it is not even worth me throwing a cast in, and it's time to move. There was a lot of times on Heartwell I would pull up and come to find out we were Mike and I were kind of cycling similar stuff, but I would pull up and could tell the fish were kind of what I'd call busted up in the top. Thank you.
Yeah, we got a bartender here.
Yeah, that's great.
Hey, bartender.
Thank you, sir.
He was telling me to reach.
I could tell immediately that fish were busted up. They were in a position where you could just tell they had been hit. And I heard a lot of guys, and I kind of kept my mouth quiet, but a lot of guys throughout practice were complaining, I'll throw in a spot and they'll just chase it. Well, it's probably because they just saw the same bait.
That was me, Trent.
There.
That was
And it's simple. It's just that spot had been hit, and you got to rotate to get on the right stuff.
Same thing. We were like,
how the hell do you get
because
these?
Kimmel and Trent are like, we're catching all the bass in the whole lake, and me and Drew are like, how? Like literally, all they do is just follow the whole time. And
but it
Trent's
works.
Like,
It's
easy.
true.
You know,
It
you just
works.
have to have
Well,
fun.
we wouldn't throw at those ones that you're throwing at.
Yeah.
I think it's great. So, but Drew, you being from, I guess, South Georgia and those kind of lakes, huh?
Non-herring.
Non-herring lakes. All right, so your approach has got to be a little bit different.
It
For sure.
absolutely has been.
So when y'all get to a non-herring lake, which seems to be like outside of the Southeast, is that run and gun style still play? I mean, are you guys still dropping? And Patrick, you can chime in on this too. Are you still dropping, scanning, and going, or are you going to take the time to fish a little bit different because it's a non-herring lake?
I personally fishing herring fisheries a lot. It hurts me when I go other places.
Hurts you on other places,
Especially
Florida.
Yep. You can still run and gun. You do have to fish a little bit, but it's like you maybe make 5 or 10 casts. It depends on what time of year it is and what you're fishing for. But it still doesn't hurt to run and gun, but sometimes you do have to slow down.
Okay. What about you, Drew?
I'm a make chicken salad out of chicken shit type guy.
I like that.
He's staying
I'll
there all
grind
day.
it out. If I can find a good section, I'll milk it for everything it's worth.
Okay.
Cook probably holds the record for the best day 2 record. And what would you call it, Cook? The best day 2 comeback in Elite Series history, probably?
That's a bold statement.
Or last hour comeback. He's world famous for, man, I hit this one spot 5 minutes before coming in and caught a 6-pounder.
No.
They did that at Heartwell.
That's after.
I've
He's
done that
the
many
top
times.
best angler for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
Every
Yeah.
day, last 5 minutes, like last spot. I don't know how he does it. I'm running by him. He's like reeling one in, and I'm like,
But
I
I've
almost
also
want to
been.
just
I've
ride
also
over
been
his
late.
line.
Also been late 2 times in my career, and one of them cost me a lot.
Okay.
Classic this year.
Oh, really?
But
Weren't both times this year, Drew?
No, one time in 2020 it cost me 4 pounds at the St. Johns River, and
was 10
one time
pounds
at the
this year?
Classic this year, and it cost me 5 minutes
Oh, it was 5 minutes. Okay.
at the Classic this year.
But you like to fish to the very last second is what I'm understanding.
I do, and I act like I'm not in a time crunch, because if you're in a time crunch, you work your bait different, and you don't get
That's
bites that you should get bit, and so I always just act like we're all good. And this year at the Classic, I act like it was all good, like all good. And I had a bag. That was the bad part, but I knew if I had one more,
Right.
then I'd probably be leading the Classic instead of, just being in the top 4 or 5.
Right.
And whenever I looked down, it was too late. It was
Well, sometimes it works and sometimes it just bites you in the ass.
But it works more. It works more times than not. I cannot tell you how many times I've been on the way in, have 4 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that, and stop on something and fish it right and catch a tournament changing fish.
Yeah.
I've caught great big ones. 7-8 pounders doing it. I've caught. I had one little one left and catch a 3.5 pounder on my last cast. And it's gotten to the point now where whenever I'm running in, I always look at my scale now on the way in to know which one I have to throw back.
So you're prepared.
In the last minute, I go throw 3 back, and I can still make it the way in on time.
Okay. I like that. Clint Bartlett wants to know night derby on Lake Lanier between all 5 of you guys. Who's going to win?
Not me.
Night derby.
I was gonna say
Patrick all day.
Patrick's going to
Yeah,
win?
I hate night tournaments.
Okay.
I'd go probably Mike, honestly, because
Probably Mike.
he's
the
dialed in.
Thursday night.
He's the Thursday night
Mike
king.
for sure. Actually, he's the Thursday night king
Is he?
over there
Y'all
at.
got dock
Dude, I
lights?
can't.
We got a few
I'd-
green lights.
I'd only be
I
fishing
can't
green
miss
lights.
Thursday nighters. I don't. If I'm home, I love to fish them. I don't like
I don't-
fishing in the dark. Like we're getting to that point now where it's like just getting dark enough.
Yeah.
But I'm all about this stuff for sure.
I bet. I like
What
it.
time are y'all doing, Mike?
9:30.
Okay.
That's not too bad.
Dragging.
That's not too
I'm
bad.
being worthless back here, just dragging with the
If you can, hey, buddy, fish. I get it. Guy B wants to know what lake in the southeast offers the best opportunity for a trophy bass. In the southeast,
Southeast.
Orange
Shut
Lake
your
in
mouth.
Florida right now, putting out 10
Got
pounders like
grass.
crazy.
Probably.
what'd you say, Mike?
Orange is probably a good call out there.
Orange.
Yeah,
Orange.
everybody knows it. It's not a secret. Like Orange is putting them out.
Is that
Santee
the one I
Cooper.
went to, Drew, with Benton?
Yeah.
That lake was trash, dude.
I mean, how but seriously,
It was
how many
dumb.
10 pounders did y'all catch this year? Was that at Fork or where were y'all at in the elites?
Yeah,
this
Fork
year,
was.
Pat?
Fork.
Yeah,
I mean,
Fork.
so that's hard to ignore. Like there was multiple 10s caught in the tournament. Hamner caught like a 12, didn't
It
he?
was 11.
Yeah, but they did it using that
in,
dang scope.
in the derb.
They're using that front looker with
He's
the
a front
looker.
on that jerking
Yeah.
plug, just snatching it into him. That's
Yeah,
how Patrick's
Patrick's world famous for snagging fish with a jerkbait on live scope.
Yeah.
Is he really?
Nah,
Look at him. Right on the side of it. How he got those 3 shields back there?
Yeah, all 3 of
All
them.
3 of those shields are snapping and all that.
That and his 8 transducers on
Yeah.
his boat.
Yeah.
yeah,
Hey,
I
Trent.
do run 20 live transducers.
There you go.
Shout out to Sonar Pros.
And your battery sponsor.
Yeah, good Lord, I can imagine.
No,
He runs 3
Impulse
wiring harnesses.
Lithium, best batteries out there, 20 graphs.
I
There
did a
you go.
podcast earlier last week, and they said one of the questions was, "Has Patrick ever caught a bass not on live scope?"
Oh,
serious?
wow.
Well,
now it's going to get offensive.
all right.
I had,
Oh,
to, I
my
had to
God.
stand up for you, Pat. I said
Thank
the
you,
dude's
Mike.
running 1 live scope, and he qualified for the Elite Series without it, and he won an Open on the Red River without it, and he. What else? Did
College
you, I mean,
national championship.
You've caught a few bass without it. Let's put it that way. You
Yeah.
also won
Yeah.
a college national championship on Murray without it.
I mean, did
so-
y'all see the guy at Amistad? The guy's the only guy left on the MPFL that'll throw a
Yeah.
spinnerbait and still catch a 5-pounder.
Yeah.
Let's go.
What are
Well,
you talking about?
Patrick,
Oh,
just
Pat,
remember,
yeah.
it sure as hell didn't come from this podcast. We didn't say it. All right. So I want to make sure I keep
Hey, let's be
I'm in
clear.
good standings
Lanier,
with you guys.
Lanier is like the polar opposite of the forward-facing sonar haters. Every single
Yeah.
every single buddy and their brother on
If you
that
see a
lake.
pontoon run by, he's
Yeah.
got
He's got lots.
Oh, seriously, you're probably putting one. You said you're putting one on that Ginu and all
Yeah,
that.
we want a Ginu.
Around here, it's king. Trust me, it is. We really don't have that that drama
No.
in North Georgia because of the way our lakes fish,
Yep.
these highland reservoirs, it's almost you got to have it.
Yep.
To fish the way these spots get down and with the blueback. So that seems like that's a much bigger thing up around whose area and all that stuff. So
I
we
guess
don't.
North Carolina. Mike, where was that podcast out of?
That was the 10 Cup Monty podcast.
He's done so many over the past week. He is.
Yeah.
He does. Hell, he doesn't even know where he's at right now.
I'll be honest with you. It's been an unreal week. Like everybody's acting like I'm some sort of big time dude. I'm just trying to fish a Thursday nighter. I have no idea.
Yeah, well, listen, but you're 100,000 reasons better, for doing that. I like that sound, Drew.
That's a good sound.
That's a good
Mic
sound
check,
right there.
mic
Mic
check.
check right there. Let's see. Let me check our questions. Guys,
It's
hearing
also
about.
my birthday, so I'm gonna drink a couple more. On
Oh, yeah, it's Cook's birthday
It's
today.
good birthday.
Yeah. Happy
Kevin.
birthday, Drew.
I
Kevin.
told Emily I wanted to bring a cake in, and we're like,
you?
"Happy birthday!" And I was like, "But we'll eat."
All right, Kevin, you did this once before. Would you sing Drew Cook happy birthday?
Oh no, not
Huh? You want to do it again? You guys don't know. In about 4 minutes, we're going to do the question of the night. Kevin's question of the week. Again, if the answer's different, it's his damn fault. It ain't me. It's not Fish North Georgia. But we're going to give away another Evolved rod sleeve to the winner of that. So that's coming up here in just a second after we get through with this question.
week.
What'd you say? Of the week. Yeah. Hey, give me a mic drop or something. We'll record it, and then we can use that. So.
I don't know how much you watch the Elite Series, but Zona always does his power pole replay of the day of the week.
Zona. What about the Berkeley Nessie? Do y'all like that bait? Any of you guys? Any of you guys throw the Berkeley Nessie? And if you don't like it and you think it's trash, say it. Be honest.
Never touched one.
Okay.
I haven't caught a fish on it yet.
You haven't caught fish with it.
Which one's the
That's
Nessie? Is that knockoff soft
The
glide?
fish arrow one.
Yeah.
Off the flag, yeah.
It
Yeah.
only has
I like the
one-
original
only
one.
has
The original
one
one's a good one.
truffle.
Well, Berkeley, to their credit, is trying to make stuff available in America.
Yeah.
Capitalism, which I'm still pro-capitalism. Sometimes fishermen
Same
get their
here.
feelings hurt when somebody makes a good business move in this industry.
No,
But yeah, the Nessie, I mean, I love glides. I love that they have a glide that you can skip.
Have you caught a
I
bass
would,
on it?
I would.
Have you
Yes,
caught a
I've
bass?
caught a bass on the 7.
Okay.
I don't
All right,
think
okay.
you'll catch a bass on the 5. I haven't thrown the 9, but I've caught a bass on the 7.
The 7's a good one.
9 looks good.
John Cox has caught more bass on that 7
loves
inch
that
than anybody I
Yeah,
know.
John loves that thing.
He does it.
I do like their what's their version of the mag draft? Now that it swims
Oh.
right,
The coal shad's legit.
Coal Shad's legit.
Caught a 35-pound
Yeah.
bag in South
Coal
Georgia
Shad's
on
legit.
it. Like it's
Yeah.
legit. I caught a 10-pounder
little
on it.
Now that they got the
Not-
harness figured out, it runs good.
Yeah, I
Not
do
the
like the
8-inch
bullshit.
one.
y'all like. Yeah. So you guys y'all like the coal shad?
Yes.
I do. Yeah.
You
good
do?
But have you played with that Megalojohn, Trent?
That's
a good one, too.
actually.
That's a
You
good one, too.
You
I
showed
actually
me
have.
those. I need to get some.
Yeah.
They look good.
It runs deeper and you can reel faster.
And it
You
shakes
can.
its head
There's
no.
a time and a place.
Yeah.
And
There's
you
time
can
and a place.
Skip the
All right.
piss out
All
of
right.
it all day.
You can skip.
Mm-hmm. The
All right.
Megalojohn's a good one.
You guys, hey, you guys too, try to see if you can answer one of these questions. This question of the week by Kevin. So, guys, again, if you're watching right now, here comes Kevin's question of the week. You win a Evolve rod sleeve. How many parts? How many answers, Kevin?
3 answers.
3 answers. Again, we do this every week. A lot of you guys in the comment section put 1 or 2 of the answers. You got to have all 3. And if you just put 2, you're probably telling somebody else the answers and how to win this thing. So here's the question. Put the camera on Kevin real
All
quick.
right, here we go.
All right, Kevin, get in there. Father Time is in the house.
Thank you. What 2 governors participated in a Bassmaster Classic weigh-in, and who won that tournament?
George
Again.
and George. Davey Height and Rick Clark.
No, read it again.
What 2 governors participated in a Bassmaster Classic weigh-in, and who won that tournament?
All right, so in the comment section right there, guys,
Not
you guys
Drew.
put the answer right there. So
We're not supposed to
George.
answer it, Cook.
It's George.
Don't answer it, Cook. We're not supposed to answer it.
I want
That'd be a
a
border
damn
lake,
rod
right?
sleeve.
You want a rod sleeve?
They want a rock sleeve.
Is that the right answer?
What'd he say?
No, I'm talking about Anita McCready. Right
Well,
there,
it's not Chung, but
Clun.
yeah,
Is that close enough? Is that it?
we can give it to her.
We'll give it to her. Anita McCready. So the answer was, of course, Drew, you said what?
Bush and Clinton.
Bush and Clinton. And then Rick Clun won that event. What year was that?
That was 1984.
I was gonna say
1984.
84.
First year the classic went to $100,000.
First year the classic went to $100,000. So Anita McCready, if you will message me on Facebook with your address, tomorrow when I get in, I will send you an Evolve rod sleeve. So we appreciate you guys doing that. Christopher Brown,
Oh,
you were
TKR
close.
plate.
You were close. So all right, so you got y'all's next tournament for the NPFL is on Pickwick.
Pickwick.
Now, you two guys, y'all will have a tournament before then, right? Patrick
I
and
got
Drew.
two.
Wheeler
Yeah,
Lake,
I got
two of
Smith Lake.
You got Wheeler and what?
Smith Lake.
Smith.
Smith
July
Lake.
Weekend.
Another herring lake.
Herring Lake.
Anywhere there's herring.
Lanier 2.0.
It's not really a herring lake.
It's a herring.
So okay, so I heard Lanier 2.0 from Patrick, and you said it's not really a herring lake. So
I can't say much because they're off limits.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
So we will NPFL.
Yep.
Let's go to Pickwick then. Pickwick. So what are we looking forward at Pickwick?
It's going to be a tough.
Shallowest ones that are left.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough tournament. For an interesting dynamics popped up where the Tennessee. I always forget their acronym. Is it TWRA?
TVA.
Tennessee.
TVA.
No, TVA is the.
Oh,
That's the Valley Authority.
That's the Valley Authority, but I think it's TWRA.
TWRA.
Whatever. Tennessee's DNR.
Yes. There you go.
They are now imposed regulations that you can no longer transport fish from one body of water to another.
Right.
So that means no fish from Wilson can end up in Pickwick. No fish from Wheeler can end up in Wilson or Pickwick.
Even from
Yes.
Wilson to Pickwick?
Yes. And they're not wanting fish. There's a neighboring lake in Pickwick called Bay Springs that you can run to via canal.
I feel like
that
if it's
normally does
connected,
have
they
some
could
boat.
swim.
Some of the field go
connected.
that direction. We can't go there either. So the tournament is strictly on Pickwick, which if anyone knows Pickwick in July with a 100-boat field, plus there's an additional
They're gonna look like
150-boat local tournament,
Ugh.
it's gonna be a tough tournament for sure. But someone's still gonna win $100,000. It's still gonna take some weight,
Right.
but you're gonna see probably your top 5 being that Pickwick weight. And then you're going to start seeing things drop off pretty quick from there. I bet it only takes 10, 11 pounds to get a check at that tournament a day.
You guys agree with that?
I agree with that.
I bet you it's
Yeah,
less than that.
Yeah.
Less than that.
I'm just praying I could catch 5 a day. I don't even know how we're going to catch 5 a day in that tournament.
A lot of brush piles.
Well,
I think if you
I
catch
wish.
12 pounds a day, you're sitting in like.
I wish I
25th
could fish
place.
brush there.
About
Yeah,
25th?
I agree with Mike. 12 pounds a day, you'd be pretty good.
Yeah.
okay, so
12
when
pounds
Will,
a day, you'll be
It's
in
sad,
13th
but it's just kind
at
of
the end
how
of
it
it, I
is by that
promise you.
time of the year.
yeah. So when Will
About
came
3
in,
days, maybe so. Yeah.
yeah, when Will came in last week, he had just gotten a call about the change that you guys did not expect that. This is something, but I was told that this is a law from like 2001.
And they're just starting to impose it.
So why?
Or enforce it.
Why all of a sudden? Did they change a director or something? Or
Don't know.
you guys have no clue on that?
Yeah, we don't really know. All we know is that it's been very, and it's not NPFL's fault.
I heard
this
it was
happened.
because of spotted bass, but
Yeah, it's specifically they have a concern over the spotted bass that are in
Bay Springs.
Bay Springs, even though there's a canal they can swim through. But
I know they could
them getting
literally.
to Pickwick, but
Well, can't they swim through locks?
yeah, but there's no lock.
Absolutely.
To
There's spotted bass in Pickwick already. Like,
Yeah.
Oh, there's. Oh, okay. I thought you had a
Some-
lock system
yeah.
like you could go to Chick and
Yeah,
all them. lakes.
but you know,
You can.
I think no matter what, the tournament's going to get one on Pickwick. That was the case with or without this rule. Just the only downside now is typically Bay Springs absorbs some boats, and then if the option to lock to Wilson absorbs some boats, so it gets some of that pressure off the lake.
Yeah.
But that's just not going to be the case for us. And it's going to be. It's probably going to be one of the toughest tournaments we have on the schedule. But still, someone wins $100,000. Someone's got to figure them out, and I still think it'll probably take 22 a day to win, probably.
Okay.
20 to
No
22.
way, Trent. You are out your mind.
You were on crack. You said 22 a day.
Yeah.
66 pounds, not a chance.
Good.
that's what he said he's going to have.
17 and a half.
17 and a half a
over,
day.
over 3 days.
Give
I'm
me
gonna say
46
leader after
pounds.
day. Wow. No, okay, you're light there. I'm gonna say after day 2, leader has 44 pounds. And then day 3, bring in all the locals, all the local pressure, no current on Saturday.
Good point.
44 pounds,
Good point.
22
Good
a
point.
day.
Good point.
Yeah, after day 3, whoever's leading is going to have, let's say they bring in 16. So what
I
is
don't
that,
think y'all been to
16
Pickwick
on top
lately.
of 44?
I think y'all are on crack.
60
one
pounds.
person.
I've
So
been
60.
to Pickwick when it was good, and it didn't take that.
Wait, you gotta go. Wait. We were the MPFL was there year 1. We were all 5 not there. Brandon Perkins won that event. It's the same style event, and it was in July. What did he have?
17,
Look it up.
What did he
Yeah,
have?
17 a day.
19, and then
17 a
didn't
day
have
is what.
front lookers, and they ate a crankbait back then too, Kimmel.
yeah.
Interesting. So
I could be light. I could be heavy then, but I'm going to be heavy and say
I don't
take
know.
20.
I still
dog.
think Tennessee River. I still think Tennessee River in July. Like I still think Tennessee River 20 a day wins it. Maybe it's 19 or something like that. But you might have somebody win by a wide margin, but just because they found something sneaky. I still think it's like 12 pounds a day gets you in 25th though.
okay. All right. So you guys know the field. Who's the favorite going into this?
Mike Corbishley.
Oh, bar none, Brandon Perkins.
Brandon Perkins.
Yeah.
And you said Corbishley?
Well, Corbishley's hot right now. He's top 3 offshore fisherman in the MPFL. I would say.
Okay.
When you were playing with hot dice, man, you just keep rolling. But yeah, Perkins is definitely the local
Biggest
favorite.
threat. Yeah.
And he's from Pickwick.
He lives there.
He is
lives
the
there.
favorite. Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
Patrick still got his Carolina rig tied on though.
Patrick won a Tennessee River tournament
Be careful.
that in the
I'm on
summer.
crack that
Post-fall.
chain, Doug.
Watts Bar. Don't
Oh,
forget about Watts Bar.
Watts Bar. I forgot
when
that.
he left the house.
One
Yeah.
of those.
So
That was
okay.
because Trent booked a house on a hill and I had a camper.
Yeah,
Like I'm
but-
talking about on a hill, and it's like, oh, by the way, yeah, there's no yard.
That's why I don't book Airbnbs anymore.
Yeah,
You don't
Trent
get
got-
And then he just went and let us fish shallow that
Yeah.
tournament. Remember?
Oh yeah, frog bite will get you paid.
Yeah.
A frog bite get you paid.
Yeah, he did not act like a roommate that week
graphing.
whatsoever.
Why are you graphing? The frog bite's good. I was like, well, I'm gonna graph.
You really told him a frog bite?
He told me a frog.
Oh,
bite
he
was
told
good.
you a frog bite.
Oh no.
Oh, I'll just go ahead and be honest because we'll probably never go there again. Me and Trent were on the most insane frog bite,
wild.
and if it stayed sunny and it didn't rain, we would have freaking
It was
dueled
wild.
for that
You
tournament.
could call your shot.
If y'all
That's
would have
so
quit
much fun.
throwing it, y'all would have caught more of the tournament.
That's
No.
true.
It got
I
lights
am,
turned off.
I am world
Those
famous
fish
for
did not eat
catching
a
them in
frog.
practice.
Those
You
fish
are
will not eat a frog in the rain.
winner of practice.
I'm the winner of
Georgia
practice.
You're the winner.
Trent practice. We got to cover
Palmer
Trent
will win
practice.
What's Trent
Trent-
practice?
Trent's practice
every time?
ungodly. Whatever, like if there's a cap in a tournament, whether it's a local tournament, team tournament, all year, say the biggest weight's been 25 pounds ever on that lake been caught, Trent's going to catch 27 in practice that day.
No doubt.
Whatever it's possible, he doubles it.
He's the modern day Mike Iaconelli. And I can say that because I roomed with Ish Monroe last year on the Opens, and Ish said Mike's practices were insane. John has said the same thing. John Cruz has said the same thing. Mike
First
was
6 hours
always.
of practice, Trent's got it dialed. That
Yeah,
bad.
Trent
I'm
is 15 minutes in. Guess what he found at Saginaw Bay? 15 minutes in.
Caught a bit.
Guys, I just caught a 6-pound smallmouth. Well, he got a second place and a shield off that
Off that spot. Yeah.
Off that spot.
Yeah. I really found it in the first 15 minutes of practice.
Literally, just he's a magnet to bass.
Okay. Well, let's do this, and we'll start with Patrick, and we'll go through Mike and Drew first, and let you guys answer. When you get to a lake, Patrick, and you got to break it down, what's the first thing you're doing going into practice? How do you get your information? Since I assume you guys got information rules as well in the MPFL.
Yep.
So, how do you break down a lake, Patrick, when you get to a tournament?
It depends on if I've been there or not, but usually I'm looking at water level, kind of seeing what time of year is it, what is the water level, is it high or is it low, and then doing map research. I mean, kind of just, is it going to be clear or is it going to be dirty? And then kind of, if it's really clear, then it's like, you kind of just got to go where you think the fish are at. On reservoirs that in the southeast, majority of the fish, the biggest population, there's upriver. In the bigger fish, the lower numbers are going to be down there towards the dam. So it's really just kind of got to break one of those two up. And then the first day of practice, I'm going to do an entire lap around that lake from top to bottom. I'm going to burn my entire tank of gas out to look at the lake and then just try to get a feel for it. And whatever I like the most is where kind of day 2 and 3 kind of go from there. Really just do a big lap around it, see all the water. I mean, because I don't want to start in one creek and stay there all day because I got to see the lake. If you've never been there, you just better burn some gas and just see what you like.
Okay. All right. What about you, Mike?
Can you hear me all right?
We can hear you. If you're running, I can come back to you.
Yeah, come back to me in 2 minutes. I'll be
All right, we'll
in
do
2
that.
minutes.
So, all right. So, Drew, what about you?
I do as much research online. We have so many things available to us now. So whether it be tournament reports, Google, Earth, YouTube, all that stuff, there is in every lake that's ever had big tournaments, there is a section of the lake that, besides a handful of lakes, that most tournaments get one in.
Right.
Whether it be a 2 mile or a 5 mile or a 1 mile section of the lake, that's where they get one in. I always want to know where the tournaments go out of. And I'm a little different than Patrick because I have a terrible time practicing. I kind of pick my section that I want to focus on, and my first 2 days of practice are focused in that section. It could be a 20-mile section. It could be a 5-mile section. It all depends on the body of water, but that's where I focus all my tournament in. And then my half day of practice, I spend doing something completely off the wall. So if we're at Lake Okeechobee, I spend my 2 days of practice in, which that's a bad place, but the Monkey Box, South Bay, those are my 2 days of practice. And then my half day of practice, I'm throwing a crankbait. Just doing something, or throwing a 10-inch worm, doing something off the wall in the rim canal.
He's getting sidetracked. That's what Pat said.
On the shoals, outshore, whatever. Because when you find a place like that, that's how you win. That's how you dominantly win.
Right.
But besides that, it's just whatever the main deal of the tournament, or where the tournaments get won and where the boat ramp is, where I focus.
Okay, it makes sense. And before I go to Mike, Dane Hunter with the ABA wanted us to announce there is an ABA team tournament on Lake Lanier this Saturday, guys. So I'm sure that you can still probably join the ABA. Message Dane Hunter on Facebook. That would be a good way, or look it up on their page. Is that correct, Tim?
Yeah, you can go to the American Bass Anglers page and look up the team trail.
Yeah.
Which is separate from their regular trail.
Yep.
And that'll be this Saturday on Lanier. I do not know which ramp right now.
Okay. Little Hall? Probably Little Hall, I would say.
Yeah, I would think so. Little Hall.
Okay. All right, Mike, are you back with us now?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I'm here.
All right, we can't hardly see you, which is okay, but we can hear you good.
I'll get in front of my graphs, like real close. There you go.
Oh yeah, look at that. So kind of mood lighting right there. So
mood lighting going
little mood lighting.
You got a nice smile there, Mike.
No, I had a bet. Hold on a second. I had a bet with a guy. Now, you guys don't have any idea what this is about, but I need each one of you. I'm gonna go to you specifically. Okay, I need you to say yum yum.
Yum yum.
Yum yum.
Drew.
Yum yum.
Patrick.
Yum yum.
All right, Mike.
Yum yum.
Thank you. I'll tell Trent what that means, and he can tell you guys after the show. We can't say it on air. It's a code.
No,
for
we
something.
don't want to get blacklisted.
No, we will. I will get demonetized quick for that one. But I appreciate you guys. You guys have no idea what in the hell you just did.
I don't even know what we just committed to.
Trent's going to tell you as soon as the show's over with. He will tell you. All right, Mike, you go to a new lake or a lake for a tournament. How are you breaking it down?
I'm somewhat similar to Drew in the sense of like I'm going to try to figure out what section I'm going to what section of the lake I'm going to focus on, like 2 or 3 creek areas or main lake, or just like I'm going to try to break it down to like 10 miles, because if I have to cover more water than that, I typically struggle. Like last year, or 2 years ago when we went to Toho, I'm like, I'm not going to leave Toho. Like there's going to be a bag of fish that's going to be caught in Toho. So I just try to break it down to a certain area, 5 or 10 mile stretch, and I try not to go much bigger than that. And then if I'm really struggling, like I'm not catching them, like I can't get bit, can't figure out a way to catch a fish, I'll just pick up and roll to the total opposite end of the lake and go do something different. You know what I mean? And then if that doesn't work out, I'm just going to practice it in the tournament, which happens more than you might think. I mean, I think that's one of those things that's underrated. Yeah, I think that's one of those things that a lot of people don't realize how much Like, it's like I could go here and catch like 10 pounds, or I could go here and catch 12 pounds. And, I think there's a lot of tournaments where guys end up catching them practicing in the tournament. Like you go catch a limit of bass and then you just go fish water you've never even seen. That happens a lot.
Okay. All right. What about you, Justin?
Yeah, I'm trying to do as much research as I can as far as how's this tournament going to be won. And then I want to spend about 95% of my practice looking at that. I want to stay in it. I've had some really tough practices that turned into good tournaments. Can't really talk about Lake Wheeler, but last year I had a top 10 and I just kind of stayed in it. And then finally last day, just kind of put it together. A last day of practice. Same thing at Heartwell. I didn't let myself go do a lot of stuff I know to do to go catch a big one on a dock or go up the river. I went up river for 2 hours and had a great time, caught a 4-pounder on the top water. But I also knew I shouldn't be doing that to get paid. And, I'm still cutting my teeth, on the boater side. This is only year 3 for me. So, I like to just spend my time doing and covering as much as I can. And, it's starting to pay off a little bit. I got some good roommates that I'm learning from too. So
right.
on how to spend time, because I've definitely wasted time, and something that we kind of alluded earlier with what Patrick was talking about. So not the herring style that helps me, move. I've had to slow myself down in a lot of like Florida and Alabama and Oklahoma, everywhere I've been in Texas,
right,
and just kind of fish the area, grind it out, and I'm starting to learn to do that
kind
a
of
little
figure
bit
it
more.
out. Okay, what about you, Trent?
To everyone's point, research is important. I think one thing that hasn't been said tonight that I like to do a lot is I'll get in my boat, turn my grass on, and just the lake we're going to, especially if it's post-spawn offshore, I'm going to go ahead and go on my mapping. I'm going to mark stuff that looks interesting to me, especially if it's a lake I haven't been there. If it's current oriented, I'm looking for current break area, stuff like that. And the big thing too, from there in my research, I'm going to figure out if the lake fits what I'm good at, which is offshore fishing. If it does, if the research shows that there's a good offshore bite, then I'm going to put a bunch of my eggs in that basket to try to figure out what I can do to catch fish offshore. When I get to the lake, I'm trying to be better, learning from Patrick on see as much of the lake as you possibly can. I think that first year, or not the first year I fished the MPFL, but when I first started getting into serious serious tournaments, I was competitive doing this, but when you go to lakes where especially the first year I did the MPFL where you only have 3 days of practice, my old method of practice where I got an area and stayed there and just tried to learn everything about that one area, that started burning me in tournaments where we only have 3 days of practice. Really, the goal is just sample as much as I possibly can. Once I see all the lake, we'll start putting together whether it's in practice or in the tournament. Okay. I think the comment was made earlier, I mean, a lot of tournaments I've done well on, I didn't figure out the bite until in the tournament.
Yeah.
It wasn't a practice deal. It was in the tournament I started figuring out the bite.
Okay. Did we lose Mike?
I think we did.
No, I'm here.
He's here. Okay.
He's got to check in at 9:30.
Yeah, he got to check in. That's fine.
Just in one more spot.
No, he's good. That's good. We can hear you. So that works. Can't see you, but you keep fishing.
Is this going to be a live broadcast of the weigh-in, though?
Well, we can. Hey, we can if you want to.
I don't know because I'll lose, and then it's embarrassing.
Nah. Patrick, here's a question for you and Drew. If you could change one thing in professional bass fishing right now, what would it be?
The amount of money in it. I wish there was more money. I wish when you're a professional, if you're a so-called one of the top in the world, I feel like you should. It should be like any other professional sport. It should be like NBA, NFL, any of that, NASCAR. It's like I wish there was a little more money on the top end.
How do we get more money into it?
Probably more non-endemic sponsors, TV time, stuff like that. And I don't know the best way. It's
okay.
Sponsors probably.
Right. So okay. So more money. What about you, Drew? TV time. That would be a big one. Drew, what would you do?
That is definitely the number one thing. I don't know how we have way more TV time than we've ever had.
Yeah, let's say that we've ever had.
But we still get paid the same. But besides that, I would make it like a true professional type deal. I want the ones where we all get on a plane again and go to
That'd be
somewhere
pretty
we
cool.
have no idea where we're going.
Okay.
We get 10 pounds of tackle, and you get 4 hours to go figure it out type thing. Like true fishermen, like just figure it out. You know, who's the best guy that day
I like that.
on this body of water.
So you're saying you would like it to where they fly to a undisclosed location. Everybody's got the same boat, same rig, same graphs, 10 pounds of bait. Let's go.
I would love to do that. And besides that, I've said this for years. I want us to have a tournament, and it's probably not going to be sanctioned by anybody, but everybody goes and practices for a day. And they come in, rig their tackle, and the next morning we all draw numbers. And if there's 24 people, 24 boats, we get 12 numbers. And when you draw the other person's number, you swap boats. And you have to fish with that guy's rods, that guy's boats, that guy's everything.
You wouldn't rig it. You wouldn't rig that. No, you couldn't do that. You would have to take your tackle or something because old Joe Blow's like sabotaged. There's like
that's right. Yeah, it's got a bad spot in the line down there somewhere.
No way.
But I get what he's saying, though.
I think that would be the really cool thing to do.
You want me driving your boat? I'd be happy to drive your boat.
I'd let you drive my boat. I don't care. You let me drive your boat.
Yeah, I do let you drive my boat.
Yeah, I fished the open out of Patrick's boat last year.
Yeah, that was the old classic girls.
It's like the first classic.
Yeah,
that's like the first classic.
Like
that's exactly like that. Mike, can you hear us?
He's muted his mic.
He's checking in 8 minutes.
Okay,
I'm here.
You are here. What if there was one thing you could change about professional bass fishing right now? What would it be?
Man, I hate to echo that, but I mean it's the same thing. You know, like I had a bunch of comments like, "Oh, you want $100,000? You're gonna quit your job?" It's like, no, it's not possible. Like it's just the reality of it and the way that fishing is today, and the way money spends. I mean, $100,000 was first place in professional fishing. Like how many years ago now?
1984.
Yeah.
Somebody pull up on Google real quick. Somebody pull up on Google real quick. What $100,000 was in '84. Somebody look it up right now. I bet you it was like 150.
1984. You're right, Mike.
You're telling me that the prize money for winning a tournament has not changed since 1984?
Nope.
So that's my parting note because I got to run and check in. But somebody look that up and see what inflation
it is. You're right, Mike. No, you're right.
No, Mike, you're
it's right. We confirmed it.
1984.
Here you go, Clint. This is your time to shine, bro.
Yeah, Clint Bartlett right there. Yeah. Okay, I had no idea.
Yeah. It's interesting because, I mean, I love this sport with my whole heart.
Incredible. Very blessed. But
yeah.
And let's just put it this way. Let's take Mike's win, for example.
Yeah.
Most of us here are in a fortunate position where we have sponsors that give us financial support that make it realistic to make a good profit at this, right?
Right.
Let's say Mike didn't have any sponsors. He was fully out of pocket, right? He's 32,000 in entries. And if you do it tight, like you're borderline sleeping in the truck, getting cheap hotels, eating ramen noodles, you're looking at probably 10 to 12 grand in expenses on the low side. I think last year my expenses were
low side.
Last year
on the low side.
I'll give you a real number. Last year fishing the MPFL in expenses, so fuel, lodging, tackle, I spent almost 17 grand.
Okay.
So you're almost, let's just call it close to 50.
Yeah, you're 50.
Right.
You're 50 grand to fish.
Especially
you win
when
100 grand
doing the Airbnbs.
off. You win 100. Let's say you have a good year. You win a tournament and you get a couple checks. Or let's just say you win one tournament, nothing else.
Okay.
Your net profit's 50 grand. Uncle Sam takes 35% of that. You're talking less than a teacher salary.
Mm-hmm.
And that's winning. That's pulling a major win.
Yeah.
Right.
And then not to mention, just because you win a tournament doesn't mean next year all of a sudden you've got $200,000 of sponsor dollars coming because it
never happens.
You still have to work
You're just
for
doing
it.
your job, actually.
Yep. And that's the tough thing. That's the tough thing about the whole thing. And I think too, like we can all say we want more money. I think there's ways it can get done. But I think the tough thing, like we can't compare it to baseball, golf, basketball, because flat out fishing for the majority of the public is boring compared to those sports. there's got to be a way to make it what one of these leagues needs to figure out is how to make this more interesting for us viewers. Right. And Clint had it on there. And I think there's a way it can get done, but like if there was a way for every angler to have a live camera that you could click through and click on their feed and see things.
Yeah, so we can follow.
And I mean like a full field,
and you could
pay $5 to watch it for the day and click through each individual angler and watch your favorite angler. That would be a way to get revenue back into anglers' pockets. Because I think flat out the argument of we just need more. Not to say anything bad about what Patrick said, but TV time isn't really valuable anymore. I mean, you look at the old FLW days when they had the Walmart and the National Guard. That was when fishing on TV was new, and they were just getting hands over fist money for that kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but they were also getting $1 million per sponsor then.
Yep, back then, and now it's our industry's in a weird spot because something has to be changed eventually.
Do you guys get on the NPFL's on Fix?
Yep.
But now the elites, I watch you guys on Fox, I believe. Does any of that money going into bass not trickle down to the anglers?
No,
not a dollar.
No shit.
Not one.
Wow.
But guess what?
What?
Guess what? There is 100 other people that if we all walked away right now,
would
take our spot.
Oh yeah, for sure.
God. It'd be 1 million other people. Yeah. Everybody who bass fishes.
Yeah. Well, I know we've talked to several guys, and to the average guy out there, they do think that professional bass fishing is a glorious, they think. But the more anglers I talk to, the more I realize is like what you said. There is a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you don't see as far as expenses. And I know some guys that have lived out of their truck going to tournaments. Just trying to.
There's guys I know in ridiculous credit card debt because of tournament fishing.
100%.
But like here's the thing: like you look at Patrick's year last year, you see all the trophies he won. He won over $500,000 last year, and that is wild, right? That is an incredible year to have.
Good year.
But in the big scheme of things,
Patrick the #1 money earner last year.
Yeah. In the big scheme of things, like in the big scheme of things,
Wheeler was ahead of him, Mike.
If you look at the money, if he was in golf, the money he would have won compared to what he did in fishing is
Oh my God.
I mean, he would have won like $10 million.
Yeah.
The thing is, like, there has to be a way to generate new viewers to fishing. And I think it's not a testament. I think it's what MLF tried to do, and that's not working. They're kind of full circle back to the old motto. I don't know what needs to get done because we can all say we need to get all these new sponsors, but they're just not going to come out of nowhere.
Right.
Yeah, true.
And the tough thing too is transparently, I think a lot of times too, when new sponsors come in, what a lot of people don't want to admit is Bass, MLF, NPFL, they're a business. And they got to put food on their table too.
Right.
So it's like figuring out how that money diversifies is a tough thing.
How much do you guys think when it comes to sponsorship that social media has really taken, changed the game? Because a company might want to. How much?
Look at YouTubers.
98.
Yeah.
Nothing against YouTubers. I mean, they're doing their job too, but it's like all these sponsors are like, why are we going to pay this guy the same amount we go pay 20 kids to do the same amount of content?
Yeah.
I mean,
and that's the thing too. Our sport,
but I don't even think it's as valuable as it once was. In my opinion, the fishing industry is always 5 years or more behind every other industry out there. And so the social media wave happened. Now companies are making really bad decisions to pay, this angler more than that angler, because they're social media. And it's not the same value as it once was.
And that's the thing too. People don't want to, I'm not going to say people don't want to. People don't realize the fishing industry is really tiny compared to.
It actually is.
Compared to as far as overall revenue generated through the fishing industry, it is tiny compared to. Heck, I probably I don't know what I'd compare it to, but it's tiny compared to the majority of other industries. And I think the tough thing too is like our sport's gotten in the past 10 years has gotten so big. I remember I graduated college in 2015. I started college fishing in 2010, 11. To see where college fishing was then to now is remarkable. And our sport has grown so much. The problem is there's still almost the same amount of companies as there always has been as far as true big endemic sponsors that can provide money. Well, now that pool of anglers they used to invest in is just gigantic compared to what it used to be.
All right. So how about this? What about the pay to play? You guys think it may like if let's just
That's
say
always been a thing, though. That's always been a thing. If you go back to FLW Tour and all that, like 10, 15 years ago, there's always been like buy a Ranger and get in. Like that's always been a part of the field. It's just a matter of how much, you know.
Right. But what about entry fees? I mean, if you're like, let's just say you got 100, you take the 100 best anglers, that's just your elites or MP, whatever, and they choose you. It's like invitational.
Yep.
And you do not pay entry fees. Can it ever go to that? I know NASCAR is still like,
so
you still got to pay
what was the year MLF did the purge and started the Bass Pro Tour?
19.
Like 19.
19. So that first year they did no entries for all their anglers. And then the next year it was $30,000 again. It just
not a good business
didn't
model.
work. Yeah, doesn't work.
So y'all's entry fee, does it go back into the pot? So all your, just like we would on a pot tournament. So how much of a percentage, say on the elites, of all your entry fees actually goes back to the angler on a given tournament?
It's $45,000 for each of us.
How much?
45,000 total.
Okay, so that's for the year, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Of that 45,000, what percentage goes actually back to the anglers, and what goes to Bass?
They pay out just shy of $900,000 a tournament.
So,
but what is the percentage?
So like, so does Bass
more like an 80 to 85% payback?
I don't know.
I think Bass's advertisement, they're 100% payback because of sponsor investments,
because
right?
of sponsors. That's why I think it equals 100, but then it's like we're not receiving all the sponsor stuff.
Yeah,
because Bass gets some of that as well.
Well, and I'll put it to you like this: in 2019, which was mine and Patrick's rookie year, we had an additional tournament. All right, that paid us out AOI placing and tournament. We had a whole tournament that was free. We didn't pay an entry fee, nothing. And based on that tournament and our AOI standings, you got paid. And they paid out over $1.5 million. And that was the last tournament of the year. And there was bonuses put in that tournament that were
I finished 16th in AOI that year, my first year, and I got a $20,000 bonus at the end of the year for that tournament. $20,000 for finishing 16th in AOI. It was unbelievable. I was like, this is legit. I was like, that's how you end a year. I was like, that'll be enough cushion.
That'll get me
to get you to February.
Yeah, 100%.
That was in September.
That's the thing, though. Like you can make Patrick and Cook are a testament to making a living tournament fishing,
right?
But you have to be competitive. Like, if you're not in that top 25 anglers,
if you're not competitive,
you're grinding that. If you're below that line,
if you're not competitive, what Patrick?
You make YouTube videos that say what pros don't want you to know.
That makes you competitive. Listen, I'm telling you, because we run analytics and all that stuff on ours, and we're able to compare our videos to other. I can pull up any YouTube channel right now whatsoever and get their analytics compared to ours, and the stuff that what he said and the drama stuff. That's how you get the views and all that.
Of course. No doubt.
There's no doubt. I could tomorrow make a video. Patrick Walker said this, and I promise you.
Yeah,
but I'm not going to do that.
If you put you make the title of this podcast, 5 pro anglers say they should ban live scope. This would blow up for sure.
Ooh, through the roof.
Yeah. You think I should do that?
No, please don't.
You think I should do that?
Brought to you by Sonar Bros.
Sonar Pros. Sonar Pros leading the effort in banning live scope.
And live scope. So TKR goes, Danny, how would you decide who the 100 best anglers were? That would
not
be for
the Bass fan rankings.
Yeah. So, how about this?
No,
not the Bass fan rankings.
So, how would you do
Patrick Walter's not even in the top 10.
So, how would you do it, Justin? How would you set up if we had to make a trail where we had to pick the 100 best? What would be the qualifications? How would you do it? And somebody's going to get their feelings hurt no matter what you do.
No doubt.
No doubt. Yeah. I mean,
just hurt them all.
100%.
Just what?
Listen, feelings are made to get hurt. If your feelings
that's right,
hurt, it means you're doing something wrong in the first
I'd say you'd have a fish for it.
Yeah, 3.
You take everybody who thinks they're a pro
and fish for
and you say, okay, You fish for it, and you'll keep whittling it down, and you keep whittling it down, and it'd probably take you a whole year and 24 tournaments, but you'd find out who the best
call it the EQs.
Call it the EQs.
Call it the EQs.
Yeah. The EQs
Well, I
right
know
there.
after 6 years.
Yeah, with all those co-anglers too.
Bassmaster career AOI. I mean, you can just look at that.
Well, yeah. So you would think that if you wanted to start, though, you could take, some classic winners, anglers. They could automatically qualify and then have X amount of spots to try to do that.
You do like that. I think like some sort of qualifying tournament series would be
okay. That's just interesting. So, but it seems to me, just based on this conversation, the biggest thing is angler payout, and getting those.
Everybody wants more money.
Oh, for sure. But when you tell me, and I've just started following professional fishing here lately, because I'm just old blow from North Georgia that likes to fish. I had no idea that the rate of pay hasn't gone up to keep up with the cost of everything else. No. Yeah, seriously.
A truck.
A bass
look at a
boat
new
cost
truck.
$22,000 back then.
Yeah, you could buy a bass boat, a truck,
$100,000,
and a house. And put
stuff was cheaper 4 years ago for some reason.
I think Bassmaster, everybody would be happy with doing that. They would just say, "Here, your entry fees are now going to be $8,000 a tournament."
Yeah,
that would be their answer.
We're $7,000 a tournament now.
Are you
on the elites?
No,
all of us have a pretty bad addiction to the rodeo, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
We'd all pay it.
I mean, again, you can make a living doing it. I mean,
Trent, redact what Patrick just said. It's not $7,000.
I didn't hear what Patrick said. What did you say, Patrick?
It's 5,000.
It's
okay.
Patrick doesn't even know what his expenses are.
Because that's when you know you're.
It's like a blip on his bank account.
Thanks,
He just gives him a card and says, "Charge me." Just run the card.
He probably doesn't even pay his entries. He gets Emily. Emily does it for him.
All right, Clint. Hey, Clint, you guys listen to this. Clint Bartlett put a comment. I don't know if y'all saw it, but $100,000 in 1984 is equivalent to $246,000 today.
Thank you, Clint. That was the number I was looking for.
Thank you, Clint.
$246,000.
I'd say $100,000 in 3 years ago is equivalent to $246,000.
Yeah, is there like a projection on what the inflation's been the past, say, 4 years?
All right. Okay.
A lot.
Uncle Joe got us covered, Trent.
We ain't even gonna go there. I'm so pissed off from the news today. I can't even stand
I was about to say, did anybody watch the news today?
I watched it. 34 more reasons to vote for him. That's all I got to say.
Stormy Daniels is.
Listen, honestly, if you were going to have all this shit follow you, you could have picked something better.
100%.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, that's like that's B-roll right there.
Yeah.
He didn't even get the A-roll.
No.
I mean, seriously, if I'm going to get tagged down the road, I'm going top shelf.
Yeah.
I'm not going for the runaround has-been middle-aged porn star.
Yeah.
I mean, why wouldn't you get hey, seriously.
This is a great podcast.
This is starting to sound like the living room at the houses we stay at.
But Drew, seriously, wouldn't you? If you were going to risk all of what you got.
100%. It'd be Alexis, Texas.
That stuff's going to have sunshine in between.
Alexis, Texas.
Alexis, Texas. Now, that's some booty right there. I'm telling you.
That's
but you know what I'm saying.
And here we go down another rabbit hole.
Listen, we have a problem with that. But I'm being serious.
Views, we'll get you your views.
That's right. But hey, listen. But that's the way we normally are. We've been polite so far tonight with you guys.
Stormy Daniels.
Stormy Daniels could possibly. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, that's.
I don't even think
Z grade.
Z grade. I was like, B might be too high.
Yeah.
Oh, good night. So that is not top shelf right there, you guys.
In that category.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I'll have to explain to you guys what that means. So, Grant Carmichael says at $5 a month app for live fishing tournaments could generate $750 million a year if all 12.5 million viewers subscribed, letting them watch and select their favorite anglers.
Math.
Yeah.
Is that seriously?
And Clint's chiming in because I think he might still be driving from home from work because he's got a pretty terrible commute right now. But he made a good point earlier. I saw it for a split second. Like the reason there's money available in other sports is because of viewership. People go to games. Yeah. The fans fund that. The fishing industry just hasn't found a good way to tap into that fan funding just yet.
You're looking at 3 hours versus 8 hours.
Yep. Yep. The way we fund the industry right now is by buying tackle. But the way to capture revenue from individual viewers during an event. That's something that no league has figured out how to do yet, really. NPFL kind of has a little thing going with fixed TV where you can have an app, but
yeah,
I do think, and I'll give 100% the fixed crew and NPFL crew credit for this. Their current app, when we do have live cameras, you can click through them and see the individual.
You can, yeah, because I watch.
But there's only
X amount, like
8,
5 or 8 or something.
7.
Yeah, there's not a lot.
No, 8. You're right. It is 8. There's only 8, which obviously those things, even I don't know if you've seen the rig they have, NPFL, you have 5 live cameramen, and then you have 3 remote cameras. The remote cameras have a little
$8,000 a piece.
Yeah. The remote camera system is $8,000. Like just the little box that has it has a bunch of SIM cards that shoot the signal out.
Yeah.
That thing's $5,000.
Yeah, we're thinking about buying one.
Yeah. I mean, it's
crazy
we're
really
how
thinking
expensive
about buying one of those things.
Did you see Rob's comment?
No, what's Rob's comment? Netflix needs to do a full swing and cover you all together on a show would be epic. To
What a
watch.
crazy idea!
He's right.
What a crazy idea! Kimmel.
We were so close.
We were close.
We were close. We actually had potential investors on 2 different sides of the coin, not with Netflix, but the camera guy that Trent and Patrick met that I used at the beginning of the year. He comes from the reality TV world. Super talented, but it just costs a lot of money.
Trust me, I got a show. I know.
Yeah. So I mean,
it's ridiculous.
It's still possible out there. I mean, who knows? But everything's in place except the money.
Hey, I got a production company and I got the camera guys. I'm telling you, we could do it like that. So, all right, we're getting on in, guys. If you got any more questions for the guys, definitely want to you guys to throw them in before we start talking about Stormy Daniels some more to finish off the night. Okay, here we go. Rafael Diaz, what are y'all predicting bass fishing will be 10 years from now? Boat prices, etc. That's a tough one.
I don't even know.
But how about the fishing? What would you like to see bass fishing turn into? And we've talked about the money. So from a money aspect, I think we know what that needs to be. But what about, maybe changes y'all would like to see as far as
I
going
would like to see the states become more involved and start taking care of these
100%.
resources, doing more
Like
stocking.
Texas.
Like Texas.
Yes.
I want everybody
should look
state
at Texas.
to go to Texas, take an advisory board, go there, and just observe what they're doing. And if we all they take 50% of what Texas is doing, this resource would go for 25, 30 years. We'd be fine. But if we go down the path we're going right now, 10 years, man, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, Texas is like the light on the hill.
And the revenue they're generating off of that is, I guarantee you, hands over fist. Like if Neil Paul, I don't know if he'd come all the way down here, but he'd be a great person to have on here. What he's doing over on Hartwell.
I guarantee you could call Neil Paul right now and he'd get on this.
He would answer it.
Like 100%. I bet you he's doubled, or I don't know what the numbers would be, but the amount of revenue he's brought into that county is wild. I mean, the work he does to consistently have major tournaments there. The relationships. What's the terminology? The
give us a hint.
What do they call it? Like after the tournament leaves, all the people that come in to spend money in the town. There's a terminology for it. Anyway, I don't know. All the
generates revenue.
Yeah, all the revenue that's generated after a tournament, just because people want to come to the fishery after they see it produce. If more counties got in just on that, like it almost frustrates me to see like Lanier. We do not have.
No, we don't have nothing like what they got on Hartwell.
No, there's
you need a Neil Paul.
Y'all have too
we
many
need a Neil Paul.
This is y'all's problem. Y'all have too many homeowners that complain. Probably.
Yeah,
that's true.
It's the same thing with New York.
You have
economic impact. Thank you, Clint. The economic impact of the county.
There you go.
Clint is definitely smarter than all of us.
Yeah,
he is. He likes to show it too. Patrick, when you're running the whole lake looking around, what are you looking for, and how much are you relying on graphing? That's a question from Sal Pinto.
I'm relying on graphing. Secondly, I'm relying on my eyes mostly. What looks good? What's appealing to me? Like you just you got to get. It's got to feel right. It's going to be the water clarity with the banks right, that kind of stuff. It's mainly looking with your eyes, and then once you find stuff, then you're graphing, making sure there's bait in the area, stuff like that.
Okay,
that's kind of. I'm gonna answer his question because that's
absolutely.
He's marking cut banks, 45-degree banks.
Yeah,
rocks,
yes, that's correct.
That's
correct.
He's not just driving around.
Yeah. I mean, I'm looking at everything because
The brain's not holding all this. He's marking
correct.
shit on his graph.
I'm doing a bunch of marking, so all the lay downs you pass, any kind of cut banks, any kind of long points. So you remember all that stuff. You don't know. And so as the practice goes and I dial in a bite, I'm like,
they're on the
that creek way over there
bank
had all of that.
with a lay down on it.
Then you know where
you got a 45-degree bank with a lay down on it. You go run it.
It's impressive that, like, when Patrick at the tournaments, when Patrick goes to bed, I go to his boat and turn his graphs on to look at what he's done. The amount of waypoints he drops just driving around is incredible.
I feel like Trent has done that.
I have never done that. I have never done that.
Y'all will literally come into my boat while I'm in there rigging tackle and turn my graphs on to see what.
Yeah, we do it in front of you.
He's got the blue turned on in Patrick's boat.
Patrick, what did you do in my boat?
Patrick, what'd you do in his boat?
I don't even know.
You turned all my graphs on and looked at it.
Also, we all looked at dots. We looked.
Yeah, we normally all kind of peek at each other's stuff.
Patrick only got 1 day of practice. He was a little loose with that this last tournament.
I even took a 2 hour nap.
He had been busy.
He did take a nap that one practice day too.
Yeah. Do any of you guys, and I don't know, we know this goes on the local level, when you guys are blasting off, are your rods on the boat, or when you guys are backing up, when you guys all get together, are you rigging up some fake shit?
No,
I'm being serious. If you guys do that,
I don't rig up fake stuff. Like, if I just don't want my stuff out, I won't have it out. But I have to be cocky and know I'm on them to do that. And honestly, I don't even think there's been a tournament I've done that, because I mean, I don't think there's many secrets anymore.
Always.
There's not many secrets of, like,
not with you guys. I'll get a secret and you guys are like, what you got? What you doing? Trent's like, I need to know right now. And I'm like, dog, chill. Like, I got it for 3 days. Like, I need to know right now. And
that's true.
It is true. I'm like, Trent, get off my back.
Get off your back.
And then now the whole house knows.
Says the guy who's milked us for everything we were worth the last 4 years.
I find out a year later after I've got my ass stomped by it.
Everybody finds out.
I got a very interesting question right here from Andy Anderson. Trent, if the Bass Technology releases the 2025 regulations early in July, will most of the elite anglers require retrofitting for the 25 season, and can you get them done by year end?
Yes.
Yeah, it won't be hard. I mean, I've heard suspicions of what's coming. It's very frustrating to me. I mean, obviously, if there's a major ban, there's an impact to my business. So I want to put that out there on the table. Like, 100%, I am against any sort of ban, because it would have a financial impact to my business.
For sure.
But even if there is one, I've heard rumors. I think what's probably coming is a screen limitation overall size, like 60 inches, something like that, which is 512s, and then only 2 forward emitting transducers. That would include 360 live scope active targets. So you can either have 2 live scopes, 2 active targets, live scope 360.
What's this going to solve, by the way?
Absolutely.
And we only get them for half the tournament.
Absolutely nothing.
For half the tournament?
I don't know if that's going to happen.
Half the tournament.
The other proposal is like every other tournament's a no forward sonar. And here's the thing. I think a lot of people are hung up right now on the young guys dominating. And it's not because of forward sonar. It's because those kids or young guys or rookies are working. They're on the water nonstop, right? But anyways, back to the ultimate question. I think the limitation, if there is one, is not going to change the outcome of the tournaments. Case in point, if they do make this implementation, Patrick's boat's already rigged for next year as far as that ruling. He only runs, or I shouldn't say only, but Patrick runs 512s, a 360, and a live scope. So come the rules next year, his boat's compliant, and he dominates with that setup.
Gotcha.
That's why I'm saying I don't think it's going to. I don't think it's going to change, and I think too, a lot of people get hung up on the whole forward sonar thing, and what a lot of people don't want to admit. The reason forward dominates is our sport has grown so much. We are overfishing these lakes. We are putting a ton of pressure on them, and those fish are getting pushed out into suspended territories, which is why suspended techniques are dominating right now.
Okay.
That's what my thought process on the whole thing is.
I'm going to make this the last question of the night, guys. I want all of y'all, if y'all can chime in on this. We'll start off with you, Patrick. To all 5 of you guys, what's y'all's best advice for the upcoming high school national, championship this month on Heartwell? Almost a 400 boat field. Dang.
That's the problem.
Find something off the wall. I mean, like off the wall, whether it's way upriver or if it's in the middle of the lake. Just find something you could. You're not going to get anything to yourself, but find something that's less pressured and you could just outfish somebody on it. Because I mean, 400 boats.
That's crazy.
You're not getting on a community hole. I mean, if you got on it, you'd have to sit on it all day, and then you're still probably not going to win. You'd have to find something off the beaten path.
Okay. All right, Drew. What about you? What's your advice?
I was going to say run way up the river and throw something bigger than everybody. Either way bigger than everybody or way smaller than everybody.
Yeah. Okay. So go
like
to one extreme or the other.
Yeah.
An 1/8 ounce buzzbait or a 9
1/8 ounce buzzbait. Yeah. Okay. I got you. What about Rob? Drew's pounding them brewskis. Hey, that's all right, babe. We love it on this show. What you drinking?
Bush Light.
Ooh, me?
It better be that peach.
Oh, he's ran out of bees. He's only had like 2.
He ran out of peach.
It is a peach.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. But no, all right, what about you, Justin?
I mean, June, I guess it's later this month. These fish are already pounded by us, everybody before, everybody after. I'm doing the same thing. I'm not necessarily having to run way up. I'm running those stretches where those shallow fish will roam and wolf pack up together, and I'm throwing a darter. And
what about that boat?
If you catch 5, you're going to win.
Okay.
You think you can still catch 5?
Hey, we
We'll do the
might have a
opposite.
classic.
I'm gonna figure
we
out-
might have a classic back there, Patrick. Don't talk about that boat ramp. That's where I'm gonna start.
I said boat wake.
Oh,
Boat wake.
My bad.
Easy.
Stay off my hole.
That's on
I'm
you.
not gonna
dog.
say.
I disclosed it. Hell,
I know. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Stay off my hole.
I'm not gonna say like get in the crowd, but I'm gonna try to figure out how to get bit around pressured fish. When you're in a fishery like that where there's literally 400 boats and they've got X amount of practice time prior to that, I don't think anything's going to be a secret.
Mhm.
I think trying to find something off the wall is literally a needle in a haystack. So I'm going to figure out how to get bit on pressured fish because you can make pressured fish bite. There's ways to do it.
Yeah.
That's what I'm going to do.
I think it's pretty cool. All three of you guys just, are for, just different. And we lost Mike, so I imagine he's
winning the derby.
He's winning the derby right now.
He's just going to do what Trent tells him to do anyways.
His icon went gray, and I hit to bring him back on, and it did. And then all of a sudden, he absolutely vanished.
He disappeared.
So I
Yeah,
don't
I mean,
know
there's
why.
not great service.
You
on that
guys
lake.
definitely tell him thank you for coming on tonight.
Yeah,
for us,
He
'cause
said
I
the same thing. He
yeah,
appreciates
Mike actually said thank you for having him on.
Okay, I didn't hear that. So again, appreciate that. Oh yeah, so he typed it in there right there. So guys, listen, it's Drew and Patrick and Justin. First time I've ever got to spend some time with you guys, and I want to thank you very much for coming on. I hope you had a good enough time. Maybe y'all can come back in the future. We didn't run you off, and we can talk a little more about the other stuff. But don't go away after he hits that end stream because I got to tell y'all a couple things. And of course, Trent. You put this together, and so. Not only, we appreciate you being a sponsor, but spending some time out here and being a resource. So, guys, Sonar. Yeah, there you go. So, again, hey, best of luck in y'all's upcoming events. And we're going to be following you guys. And I just want to say thank you on behalf of us at Fish North Georgia and all the guys in the comments right there. So, appreciate you spending some time with us and look forward to talking to you again in the future.
We appreciate Fish North
We
Georgia.
appreciate it. Absolutely. Thank you all. Fish North
Thank you,
Georgia.
buddy. All right. So, guys, hey, that's it for this Thursday night's Livewell. Join us again next week. We got 2 more great shows coming up for you. And again, make sure you share this out with your friends. We had some great guys tonight, and it was really interesting to see how these guys, they room together when they're out on the road, but how they interact with each other. I think it's a pretty cool kind of perspective that not a lot of people get. So we appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next one.